Friday, this time on the road, opening a series against the Royals. First pitch at 4:40 p.m., pregame show at 3:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Speaking of the Mariners, a roster move this morning. Victor Robles has been reinstated from the 10-day IL. Connor Joe has been optioned to AAA Tacoma. Finally, Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals continues tonight at 5:30.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Happy Friday, starting with the Seahawks. We'll get to the Mariners. Don't worry. We're having Mike Vorel join us coming up at 1.
Mike Vrabel?
Vorel. Verbal. Mike Verbal. No, not Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, we got Mike Vrabel in studio. He's telling all.
I don't know what we talked to him about even.
I know what we talk about.
How do you have an interview with him right now?
Is that your baby?
If you're sports radio in Boston or if you're a reporter, how do you have an interview with Mike Vrabel with just that elephant in the room and go, so OTAs, what'd you see from your rookies? I don't know how you talk about it. Anyways, no, Mike Vrabel will not be joining us. I'm so sorry. Mike Vorel, local triplet and Seattle Times columnist, will be joining us, though. I hope that isn't a letdown. I'm sorry to Mike Vorel. And coming up at 11, we'll jump into the Mariners. But we're going to start Seahawks here because we all consume sports content all the time, right? We work in sports. We love sports. We're sports fans. But, Bump, when it comes to stuff you've been hearing a lot in your consumption of sports content, a lot of it is about how the Rams are better than the Seahawks. Rams are better. The Rams have separated themselves. The Rams are so far ahead. And it had you wondering a few things. What were they?
Yeah, I'm not mad at anyone who thinks that the Rams are better.
I think you should be.
Yeah, I feel some type of way, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If we all thought the same, then this world would be boring, right? We wouldn't have things to talk about. But I'm like, all right, well, what makes them better? What separates a good team from a great team? And I will say this, when people do mention the Rams, they do throw the Seahawks in there too, especially when you talk about the NFC. Like, look, two best teams, Rams, Seahawks, but they lean on the Rams. So it had me thinking, okay, what is it that the Rams have that makes people just jump on that bandwagon after you saw the Seahawks beat them 2 out of 3 times? So then I started thinking, all right, what is it? And I started just writing words down that I think makes a good organization. It's coaching, culture, resilience. I got a lot here, okay? Bear with me. Personality of a team, the personnel on the team, luck, veteran leadership, role players, rookies, and the rest of the staff, right? I think with all those things combined, and let me throw out there a quarterback. You need your quarterback. With all those things combined, I think that is what separates the good and the great teams, or even great teams, right? You can have 2 great teams, and what's going to be the separator. And I think about how McVay leads. Big personality, right? Very emotional, wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's a talker, he's loud. And then I look at the way Mike McDonald leads, a bit more quiet and humble and subtle. He will get hyped, don't get it twisted. He gets hyped, but not at the rate that McVay does. And both work. So it's just a combination of things. So I think that when people look at the Rams, it's L.A., Inglewood, SoFi Center, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, MVP, Puka, big personality, good ball player, fix their off the field stuff, you'll be fine. And just the combination it's a bit more Hollywood. It's LA, it's Hollywood.
Yeah,
so I think that's more attractive to the untrained eye. Even the trained eye, that's more attractive. Whereas Seattle, we have big personalities on this team, and I think people are going to, the more, especially when we get into Hard Knocks, people are going to see. They're going to see Spoon. They're going to see Leo, Jay Reed. Jason has a bigger personality, but it's kind of more subtle at the same time. So I think that naturally people look at the shinier object and say, that must be more valuable. And you could feel that way. But I look at the Seahawks, and that's more my approach. Okay. My personality is more like what Mike McDonald does.
So, ironically, because you're from L.A., what I'm hearing then is a little bit of, look, we all know that L.A. has good culture, good coaching, but that despite winning a Super Bowl, Seattle still might not be getting enough credit for the teams that that separate it from other good teams.
Right.
Because Seattle's not a good team; they're a great team. And I think people go, oh, that defense, the personnel, the pieces you had, it's so great. And you're saying, well, wait. It's not just the guys on defense. It's not just JSN. It's coaching. It's culture. It's scheme. It's so much more.
Yeah, it's deeper than the surface, right? The surface level says, all right, look at the veterans that they have over there. Look at the returning MVP. Look at this coach who's been to, 2 Super Bowls now? 2 Super Bowls, won one. Look at the free agents that they can attract, and they picked up Trent McDuffie, right? Jalen Watson as well. And let's just go with that because it's easier. That's the popular pick. And I think that sometimes in the sports world, especially as analysts, we just go with the popular pick. Like, we're talking NBA, it'd be easy for me to say OKC's going to win that thing, right? It's going to be harder for me to make a argument for the New York Knicks, even though I think OKC's probably going to win it. But there's an avenue to where the Knicks get it done. So it's I think we fall into that, and I understand why people like the Rams. All right, if I was from LA, right? If I lived,
hypothetically, if I was born and raised in LA,
if I grew up there, I might go for them too. No, but if I was in that community, yeah, I would go for the shinier thing. If I were not tucked away here in the Northwest and had this connection to this team and feel like I understand them on a different level, yeah, I might lean that direction. But yeah, it's just funny. It's funny how it's rare that you hear someone say, all right, the Seahawks are the best team in football.
That's very true. And you, Bump, are not the only one who is noticing and is feeling like the Seahawks are being a little slighted. And I know that sometimes we make fun of people for creating a fake chip on your shoulder. Like, remember when, was it Kirby Smart who said, like, people didn't believe in us or something like that? And we're like, really? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you number 2 instead of number 1?
I think it was the year they went, like, wire to wire, number 1.
What do you mean no one believed in you? You're chock full of 5-star recruits, and you're, like, coming off a national title. So, like, yes, sometimes we make fun of people having a fake chip on their shoulder, but it's what you need. I don't think the Seahawks have a totally fake one here, though. I think there is some real disrespect out there. In fact, in addition to you, Bump, Michelle Smallman of Unsportsmanlike back in March noticed that.
We talked about how John Schneider, alongside Howie Roseman, as the best executive in football. We talked about Mike McDonald being an incredible leader and a football savant. I think the word genius was used a lot. We talked about Sam Darnold being excellent when it mattered. JSN, we talked about this defense. We said that this was an organization that was one of the best run organizations in football, from any way you slice it. And then all of a sudden, the Rams make one move, and we're like, I don't know about the Seahawks. We don't do this with other championship teams. I think we gave them their credit in the moment, but the way that we talk about other teams closing that gap and what we've done so quickly to them tells me that most of us think this was an outlier for Seattle and that they're not going to repeat.
Do you think most people think it was an outlier for Seattle?
Yeah, for sure. I think she mentioned the move to get McDuffie, right? And everyone's like, oh, that move changes everything. You know, they found a way to minimize JSN. So what I did was I told myself, all right, who is the best corner JSN went up against last year? And it's probably Stingley from Houston, right? So Jason went nuts that game. 8 for 123, 1 touchdown. Obviously, every play wasn't against Stingley. So I looked up their matchup, all right? They were matchup 3 or 4 times. JSN caught an 11-yard touchdown against man coverage, mixed him up, hit a slam, bam. He had a 19-yard reception on the deep out, man coverage, got inside, snapped it off, and then a 19 reception on the slant in cover 4. So he has quarters, but essentially it's man because he's in his zone. JSN mixed up arguably the best corner, one of the best corners in the league. So what makes you think that one move is going to change all that? It does help that Rams defense, but they're talking about the Trent McDuffie move, but they're not recognizing or giving their proper appreciation for the best receiver in the league. That just shows you how people talk about and how people view Seattle and the Rams. It's like, what else does JSN have to do? JSN, if as a receiver, I'm supposed to win every matchup. I'm supposed to win. I have the advantage. I'm on the attack. So it's just funny to me how people talk about this team, ignore the offensive player of the year, ignore one of the best defenses in the game, ignore the innovation of Mike McDonald and how he's changing the game, ignoring Nick Imawari. If you're going to talk about the Seahawks and have a knock, say, let's see if that run game gets going.
Yeah.
Let's see if this offensive coordinator gets going. No, I hardly hear anyone talk about that. So that's what kills me with the argument. Is like, your argument should be, Can they run the football and have a rookie offensive coordinator?
Exactly. I totally agree with you. It's a funny last point, which is like, wait a minute. The things that here locally I might be a little worried about, like what's a new OC going to do? How's that going to be? You're not even hearing national shows talk about. They're just pointing at Sam Darnold and Matthew Stafford. They're just pointing at a 2-point conversion. They're just pointing at Sean McVay and the influence that he's had fairly over the rest of the league and its coaching hires. But, Bump, what I'm hearing you say for the last 10 minutes is like, point to one thing the Rams have Seattle doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, we have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, not an MVP. Got a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We got a young coach who's changing the game. We got a defensive line that's doing their thing. If you ever argue with somebody, and in my mind I say, if they say this, they're going to get me. And they don't say it, I'm like, you messing up. The arguments are all off.
Right.
Like you're focusing on the wrong thing. All right, so national media, ESPN, all you guys listening to the Bump Stacy Show, y'all are concerned about the wrong things. Talk about what we lost. We lost a good running back. You got a rookie running back. We lost an offensive coordinator. Got a rookie offensive coordinator. Say that. This, I don't know. I understand, like, people questioning if they can repeat, but you're putting too much focus on Sam. Talk about the things that we lost. So it's just funny to me. But, again, I ain't mad at nobody who's picking the Rams. The Rams, that's a dang good football team. They're going to be in the mix. It should be us going back and forth again for this whole thing. But it's funny how they're not hitting the right points.
Well, that's such a good point, too, because we've been hearing that from almost every guest we've had on. Now, not from every single person. For instance, Trey Wingo was on with us earlier this week.
The Seahawks just were better than everybody last year. They were better than everybody, and they were only slightly better than the Rams. And, the Rams were the only team, I think, during the stretch of the season that really scored anything against that Seahawks defense, dating back to the Thursday night rematch, and then how the Seahawks finished out the season, and obviously in the championship game, they were the only ones that figured out the secret sauce. And so I'm sure a lot of people are like, okay, well, they were this close a year ago. You lose some of your coaching staff. You lose this. You lose that. You lose some of your best players. Maybe the Rams can figure out a way. But Seahawks were the best team by a mile last year in the NFC, in my opinion. They deserved everything that they got, and I think they deserved the respect of being the team to beat until somebody beats them.
And that's Trey Wingo saying, you know what? You're right. The Seahawks were marginally better than the Rams in these games, but we all know that heading into the NFC Championship game, that the first two games, the split between the Seahawks and Rams, were almost even in terms of points and total yards. I mean, like 1 yard separated these two teams across ball. It was very evenly matched heading in to that third and final deciding matchup, which happened to be the NFC Championship game. But I think that what Trey is taking issue with here, and certainly what you are, is then why so definitively assume the Rams have since surpassed them? Like, if you want to go in saying, hey, the Seahawks narrowly edged out the Rams, and to your point, they lost their OC and also the Rams gained a corner. I think the Rams can get them. Sure. But why the confidence? Why as though there was a mistake?
Yeah.
Or something unexpected happened. Seahawks won 2 out of 3.
It's hard for them to believe in this new wave.
Why?
I don't know. I think, it is. McVay's been around for a while, and Mike McDonald's just getting going. And then even if you want to go the route, like, well, they're losing, they lost their OC, they're losing coaches or whatnot. Here are the coaches that have left the Rams and gone and done things. Matt LaFleur, Nathaniel Hackett, Zach Taylor, Brandon Staley, Kevin O'Connell, Raheem Morris, Thomas Brown, yet the Rams get the benefit of the doubt in the Seahawks don't. And what McVay has done is when he loses an offensive coordinator, he brings in a guy who runs a similar system. Guess what Mike McDonald is doing? He lost an offensive coordinator. He brought in a guy who's going to run a similar system. It's just bias. And I sound like I'm complaining, but it don't bother me because I think the Hawks like operating like this. Like, that just gives them something to talk about in their meetings. That keeps a chip on their shoulder. The Super Bowl champions have a chip on their shoulder because people aren't respecting what they can do. Nothing's guaranteed. I'm not sitting here and saying the Seahawks are guaranteed to go to a conference championship and get back to the Super Bowl. It's hard to do. You got to get low-key lucky in this whole thing. But I think at least going into the season, they should get more pats on the back.
Do you think part of it is like one of the first things you mentioned? People have a hard time accepting when a change of guard is real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's change is good, and hopefully this is going to be a run for these guys for the next 4 to 5 seasons.
Yeah.
But the reason why people don't want to buy into it is because the Rams have been consistent. They have like one bad year, I think, under McVay. Yeah. Other than that, they've earned it. The Rams have earned it. I'm not hating on the Rams. They've earned the love that they're getting, but I think the Hawks have earned a bit more too.
All right, so to start the show, we talked about what separates a good team from a great one. And the entire point you were getting to is I'm not seeing how the Seahawks aren't a great team. Like, it's not making sense to me.
Yep.
Let's dive a little deeper in 15 minutes. What separates a good quarterback from a great one? This is going to be kind of about Sam Darnold, but really a broader conversation about quarterback play and how integral that obviously is to your team. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, rewrite!
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump Stacy.
Mike Vorel just texted and said, God, I hope you bump me for Vrabel. Mike, I'm so sorry.
If we get Vrabel, Mike, you might be the first to go. Sorry
Mike, I am
it.
letting you know that the second it could be 12:59. We are hanging up on you and getting Vrabel to talk Mariners, though, which is going to be fun.
Headline number one, the Rams and Matthew Stafford agreed to a one-year, $55 million extension through the 2027 season. What's the real headline?
Okay, so you got money on the books if Stafford doesn't play next year. Boy, the Rams are taking advantage of having a quarterback on a rookie deal.
I mean, this was due. He's supposed to get this money. MVP. He should be up there with the highest paid in the game. 38 years of age. He deserves this. The good part for the Rams when it comes to the situation is that Ty Simpson gets to sit for another year or for a year at least, and just learn. We knew that a deal was going to go down here. I was on Brock and Salk earlier today. You were as well, and I think they both asked us, or Lefko asked us the same question: is what does this do for Sam Darnold? I think Sam Darnold mentally is fine. I think his agent is like, come on, man, we need to get some more money out of this. Could or should he be paid more? Probably. But I don't think he's money hungry. He's made $106 million in his career already.
Yeah.
I think he plays this out and then sees what happens.
See, my answer to Lefko when he asked, hey, what does it mean for Sam Darnold? I said nothing. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't really see how it impacts Sam because the Seahawks probably won't negotiate with him. Yeah, they won't negotiate with him until next year.
No, I think it does more for his agent.
Sure.
I think Sam's like, cool. But when you see Matthew Stafford get this money, I mean, probably even before they start having conversations about a pay increase because you just won the dang Super Bowl. So.
See, I also thought Matthew Stafford, obviously an MVP last year. We'll talk about quarterbacks and everything. I think it would have really mattered if, like, suddenly Baker Mayfield was getting $60 million per year. Or if, let's say the Rams weren't paying so much for Kyler Murray and the Vikings didn't get this easy contract. Let's say that they were giving Kyler Murray $58 million per or something crazy like that. That, I think, is where Sam turns to his agent and goes, hey, wait a minute. It's one thing when it was last year's MVP or a guy that's been in the league for 18 seasons. But, guys, someone who is doing less than me is getting paid $20 million more. That's when I think it affects Sam.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number two, the Knicks down the Cavaliers 109-93 to take a 2-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. What's the real headline?
Maybe if the Cavs would have told James Harden it was a strip club, he would have showed up.
We've been first in line.
Can you imagine getting in line? When do they even open?
Actually, he probably gets escorted in by security.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's way cooler.
Yeah, James Harden is one of the more confusing future Hall of Famers of all time. Right, he's affected the game. Right, that travel double step back that everyone's doing now, that's James Harden. Embracing the three-pointer, that's Steph Curry and James Harden. But when it's time to win, my man just don't show up. He didn't have a bad game. I mean, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He was a minus 22 though when on the court. But a guy like James Harden in moments like this, he got to drop 25, 30 points. He's got to get hot, and he's a liability on defense. So James Harden, man, I think he's one of the best shooters, one of the best players we've seen. But when it's time to win in the playoffs, my man just doesn't come through.
This series continues Saturday. Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals is on today. One more question here before we move on for you and Curtis and Cash if you want to chime in. It's okay if you don't have an answer, but I was thinking this yesterday, and I'm thinking it now when you guys are talking about Harden. Who is one of the, greatest but least clutch players of all time? Where you're like, this guy was so good but could never get it done when it mattered. Because for a minute there, it would have been someone like Manning or Kershaw, and then they finally bucked the trend.
Is it Aaron Judge right now?
Oh, that's a great answer.
That is a stellar answer there. Is it Juan Soto?
He's got a World Series.
Yeah.
Oh, he does,
but
huh?
not since his rookie
2019.
season. Yeah.
Nah, he's good. Who is it? I don't know.
It might be Judge.
There are a couple like that
Judge
where
is
you're like,
definitely it.
it's hard to deny that this
Can you
player's
say
so
it's
talented.
Josh Allen, even though it seems to be like the team around him that always...
Bump
Lamar
thinks it is.
Jackson.
Yeah.
I was going
Lamar
to say
Jackson.
Josh Allen as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the obvious one.
Who's less clutch between Lamar and Josh?
With both of those, I never look at the game and say it's their fault.
It's usually one of their teammates'
true.
faults.
It's never their fault.
It's the Bills having a horrible run defense and no receivers last year, or
and
it's
they got
the Ravens.
a horrible PI call against him, too.
Yeah. And then the Ravens, when they were taking on Kansas City, it was the Super Bowl that Kansas City ended up beating San Francisco.
It's Mark Andrews.
Yeah, they completely got away from everything. Those are good answers, though. Aaron Judge, Josh Allen, Lamar, where it's like these guys are going to have that monkey on their shoulder of like, you just can't do
Reggie
it, even
Miller.
though they're so talented.
Reggie just went up. Reggie was just in the wrong era, man.
Why?
A lot of guys in that era were in the wrong era,
It's Jordan and Kobe and Shaq. Like, he had no chance.
Yeah, fair. Okay, what's last?
Headline
Someone
Rewind.
said Mike Trout. See, the thing is...
He has not gotten to the playoffs.
Yeah, the thing is he's got one playoff appearance.
Like 12 years ago, I think it was. 2014 was his last.
Is he still balling this year? He started off hot.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I think he's playing all right now. Headline number 3, the Giants and GM Joe Shane agreed to a multi-year contract extension. What's the real headline?
Is he being rewarded for fixing the problems he created? You did it. You made up for moving on from Saquon Barkley.
I mean, he has made some pretty good moves since then. I think Jackson Dart could be a franchise quarterback. I like Harbaugh over there. You drafted Malik Neighbors. You got Reese. The Giants, they're an interesting team. They're not like my Jets, but they are an interesting team this year.
Someone said, I can't believe no one got on Stacy for monkey on the shoulder. It's monkey on your back, chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the back is
chip
kind
on
of...
your back.
Yeah. The back is basically the shoulder. It's all connected.
I mean, you would still be hampered if a monkey was on your shoulder.
I'm telling you right now, if a monkey was on your back, it might as well be on your shoulder.
Would probably have its arms wrapped around your
How's the
shoulder.
monkey getting in your ear then, if it's just on your back? It's leaning over your shoulder to whisper. You're not
How is
good
he
enough
in
to
your?
win
Why
a
is he in your ear?
Because he's got to tell you. Isn't that what the monkey's doing when people say the monkeys are...
No.
Cash is shaking his head.
No, this means that
Monkey
you
on your back
finally
is like
did
you're
it.
being inconvenienced. Yeah.
You finally got it
Well,
done.
why
You
do
got
we
the monkey
say
off
why
your
do we
back.
say a monkey on your back and not something else?
It's probably something from 1,000 years ago that.
Well, like monkeys are very clingy. Like they're not letting go.
Why don't we
of your
say that
back.
about koalas? Koalas are clingy.
I don't know,
koalas are-
Stacey.
I'm just saying. I always thought that the
Koalas
saying.
are up in trees already.
I always thought the saying was the monkey's on your shoulder because the monkey's whispering in your ear.
What?
Where'd you get this from?
I don't
Where is
know.
this monkey whispering in your ear?
It's not my fault. That's where I
No,
thought this
it's
all
your
came.
fault.
No,
It's
I'm
you-
saying
it's
that clearly this
100%
is
your
something I'm
fault.
guessing other people have thought.
No one's
No.
ever said
Don't,
that.
Other
don't
people-
baby
no.
monkeys hang on to the back of their mothers? Isn't that kind of what they do?
Yeah, yes, but
Is that where, I mean, I don't know.
I think
Oh,
you were the
you know
first
what?
people to
No.
have. I think you're the first person to have these thoughts.
I know what's happening. I'm thinking of the devil on your shoulder whispering in your ear.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious.
Spent 5 minutes trying to convince us that it's
No,
monkeys.
I got it. I figured it out. What separates a good quarterback from a great one? That's next.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch,
Here comes the 3-2.
every game,
Swung on and missed. Got him.
one app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game,
Julio racing back.
right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Stacy here for ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. ARC boats are easy to operate with significantly less maintenance and service. Book a demo just like I did. They'll pick you up if you can't make it to Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. That's arcboats.com/demo.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer. It's Swedish, called CyberKnife. I want to bring in Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center. Dr. Meyer, what makes Swedish CyberKnife so effective?
The CyberKnife allows us to target prostate cancer with better than a millimeter of accuracy. It adjusts for patient motion on the fly in real time, and it avoids giving radiation to other surrounding vital organs. Plus, the treatment can be done in just 5 quick sessions.
I understand it's the most technologically advanced treatment available.
Correct. Plus, the CyberKnife is more affordable, it's less invasive, and has minimal side effects compared to other treatments. Our research shows that after 10 years, more than 90% of patients are free from cancer progression.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate, or just give them a call, 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car today.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here with an interesting story. A woman was about to donate a box of jewelry, but her friend told her, take it to Bellevue Rare Coins first. She walked out with a check that far exceeded her expectations. Old jewelry, coin collections, gold watches, necklaces, and pendants. It's worth finding out what those items are worth during such a strong market. Before you give anything away, get it checked out at Bellevue Rare Coins in Bellevue, Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma. Go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here for all my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And the show lineup is pretty sick. You like comedy? Chris Tucker, Friday, June 26th. And David Spade on Saturday, August 15th. For music, Hinder is going to be here Friday, July 3rd. And then little country music, Mitchell Tenpenny on Friday, July 10th. You can go to snocasino.com for all those details. Remember, it's Seattle's closest. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall Tire Dressing. Plus, get 4 times O Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
Weekdays 10 to 2.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
So many great texts in from listeners. Someone said, well, the difference between back and shoulder is that Bump doesn't carry the show on his shoulder.
Goodness gracious.
That one took me out. Someone else said, thanks so much. I've just spent forever Googling monkey on your back and chip on your shoulder origins. I really thought that it was the monkey on your shoulder whispering in your ear, like, you're not good enough. You know how monkeys do. What separates a good quarterback from a great one? So this is a slightly more narrowed focus from how we opened the show, which is what separates a good team from a great one. The reason we opened the show there is because Bump, for the life of him, could not figure out why people were so routinely picking the Rams, going, the Seahawks have so many things that make them a great team. It's stupid to just look at personnel and go, oh, I guess they have it there. Like, there's so many other things. So because we were comparing the Rams and Seahawks, this may kind of become a Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford conversation, but it doesn't need to, because I think there's also a really fascinating conversation here about just what separates a good quarterback from a great one, and then maybe does it matter if Sam isn't one of the greatest?
Mm-hmm.
So first, what separates a good from a great quarterback?
So I looked at just some basic stats. Completion percentage, right? Drake May, 72%, Purdy, 69%, Sam, 67%, Goff, 68%, Stafford, 65%. You want a quarterback who's accurate, on-target throws, right? Sometimes receivers drop the football. So on-target throws, Purdy, 82%, Josh Allen, 79%, Sam, 79%, May, 79%, Goff, 78%, and Stafford, 73%. You got to be clutch. Can he win games for you? Game-winning drives in 2025. Stafford had 4, Dak had 4, Mahomes had 1, Sam had 1, Lamar had 1. And then the last one, can you finish, right? Get in the red zone, finish it. Completion percentage in the red zone, Stafford 63%, 33 touchdowns, 1 interception. Goff 55, 23-1. Lawrence 55%, 22-1. Drake May 65%, 20-3. And Sam 57%, 15-2.
Lower than I thought.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought his interceptions will be up in the red zone too. But I guess most of his interceptions are in the middle of the field.
I wonder how many of his touchdowns, too, were like maybe 15-plus yards out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are basic things. I'm like, all right, well, let's start there when it comes to what makes a good quarterback and a bad quarterback, right? You got to be accurate. You have to have that clutch gene in you, and you got to be able to finish these drives. And then there's a whole bunch of other things. I just picked those 4 or 5 to look at just to start there. But then there are things that we don't talk about or we don't know about. What's your leadership like at practice, in the building, and even in the huddle, right? I've been in huddle with quarterbacks, and they instill no confidence in us.
What's a bad quarterback in the huddle do?
Bad quarterback. One, you got to be able to spit that play out like your life depends on it, like easy. You know when people say, gun to your head, your favorite lyrics from a song right now, what song are you singing?
Yeah.
That has to be the offense. You got to be able to hop in there, hey, we're going Trey Wright, Z motion, F flat. Like you got to be able to spit it with some swag too.
Yeah.
Because now we're like, all right, you're our leader. We're looking at you like, lead us.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So what might someone who's not as great sound like?
I've been in a huddle, and I will not say his name, so don't ask me.
Okay.
I've been in a huddle, and guys like, okay, all right. Z motion, like there's just
that feels different.
There's no flow, right? And then a guy like even Seneca Wallace, Seneca Wallace, backup quarterback for the Seahawks. He get in the huddle, be like, all right, fellas, this is what we doing, okay? And it's just like, all right, let's go.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, like I believe in you. So you got to be able to exude that confidence because you set the tone. I mean, and obviously Sam must be able to do that in the way that he does it because he doesn't seem like a very like suave type of dude, but whatever, it works for him. And then it's just making plays that you're not supposed to make. You know, as a receiver, if I got a guy on my hip, still throw me the ball. Allow me to make a play for you, you know? So there are a bunch of things that go into it. It all comes down to winning. And guess who's the winningest quarterback the last 2 years?
Sam.
Sam Darnold. That's what it all comes down to. I say all of that to say, end of the day, You got to win ball games, and Sam's done that the last 2 years.
What are some little things that come into play? Like, for instance, yesterday we were talking about quarterback rankings and a list that Mina Kimes and Ben Solak had. Friends of the show, we love Mina and Ben, had Kyler above Sam. And granted, they said Sam has a better arm than like 5 of the guys that they took before him, but ultimately ended up taking Kyler and Sam back-to-back with Kyler going first. And Curtis said, Kyler's got some not so great body language. What kind of effect might that have, and where does Sam land there?
Kyler got the worst body language I've seen in an NFL quarterback. I think Geno had some bad body language too when he was here, but Kyler's on a different level. Bad body language is like when you're a quarterback, everything's your fault. Everything is your fault, right? Protection is jacked up. You go to your alignment. I got you. We'll fix this. Receiver drops the football. I'll put it in a better spot. Like everything is your fault, even when it's not your fault. That's the role that you have, because typically you're the highest paid player on the team. Mm-hmm. You have a different relationship with ownership and the coaching staff. Everything is on you, and you just have to embrace that. It's like you take the bad and then you deflect the good. All right, the good is everyone else, but the bad, I'll take that. And I don't think Kyler does a great job of doing that. And with that list that they put out yesterday, they didn't factor that stuff into that whole situation. They're talking about the physical and the potential to win ball games in the next couple of years. If we're talking about physical, Sam has one of the best arms in the game. When the Hawks picked up Sam, I want everybody to go back and look at this. I don't know what year it was. I saw this throw that Sam made with the Jets, and I was like, that is stupid. He's rolling to his left side. His receiver is working from his left to right, and he just flicks his wrist. And the ball comes out on a straight line about 15 to 20 yards while all his momentum is going to the left. He flicks it to the right, and I'm like, that's arm talent right there. Sam has one of the best arms in the game.
How
honestly.
hard is that for an NFL quarterback?
I mean, there's 32 of them.
Yeah.
They can do it, but some make it look easier than others.
Okay.
And Sam's one of those guys that make it look easier.
That's when it's really impressive.
Yeah.
That's something that someone like John Schneider's seeing, going like, I love a big arm quarterback.
Yeah.
I love a big arm quarterback that can run a bit. That's John Schneider's type. Does it matter if you're not great? Like, I think I know some people didn't like Mina and Ben's list. I don't necessarily disagree with them that Sam wouldn't be up there with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Does it matter?
Yeah, Sam just needs different support, right? We've seen Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson carry a team, but then when it comes down to winning the big one, that's when the supporting cast has to come through. We've seen Mark Andrews drop a football, fumble a football, and kill Super Bowl dreams. We've seen, like you mentioned, Josh Allen's defense, run defense, just be bad, right? I think when it gets down to the playoffs, it gets down to winning big games, that's when the supporting cast comes through clutch. Who had the best playoff run for the Seahawks this year?
Like in
the games.
Player?
Yeah, individual. Goodness,
Ken Walker?
spit it out. K9.
Yeah.
Throughout the year, he flashed or whatnot, but it was time to win. Your supporting cast comes up clutch. When it's time to win, Spoon was close to being the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
When it's time to win, Kicker Myers goes 6 for 6. Sam had pretty much a quiet game, but it's a team sport, so you need that support. So you don't have to be great, obviously, because Sam's not great. Is he above average? Most definitely.
Getting back to our conversation in the open, which I didn't intend to do, but do you think that's why some people give the Rams the nod? Is they just think, okay, well, I have faith that Matthew Stafford can be good, and the other pieces don't need to be as great. Devontae Adams doesn't need to get however many, 12, 14 touchdowns. Devontae Adams doesn't need to do it because Matthew Stafford's so good. Do you think that it's people doubting that everything else around Sam can be great?
Maybe.
Again?
Maybe. The crazy part is, I love Sam. I think he can do it again. I believe in the pieces around him more than Sam. And I think because I believe in those pieces, that just elevates Sam.
You're not doubting they can be good again.
No, I'm not. I think Spoon's going to be great. I think Jason's going to do his thing. I think this offensive line is going to get better. I think that second level, I'm anxious to see what Drake Thomas does. I think the more consistent part of this team are the pieces around Sam. That's why I say I think that he could get better, because he's going to have that support. If he just cuts down on the interceptions, we Gucci.
Yeah. If we could only find a way for Sam not to face the Rams defense twice a year.
Nah, I want the smoke. He's got to conquer that.
How many interceptions?
6.
6
just to the
against
Rams. Take away 6, he has 8 interceptions on the year.
6 of 14, and you thought that 4 weren't on Sam.
And 4 were like a tip ball or something like that.
None of them against the Rams. So all 6 against the Rams, you were like, that's Sam. But
But there are 4 interceptions where I'm like, that's not his fault.
Okay, so 10 interceptions, totally his fault. 6 of those 10 against the Rams.
Yeah.
That's 60%. I don't know if everyone is as good as math, as sharp as I am. That's 60% of your interceptions that were fully on you against one defense. And by the way, in 2 games, because he didn't throw a single interception in the postseason.
Yeah, cleaned it up.
You got this.
He'll be
You got
fine.
this,
He'll be
man. We're going Mariners here back-to-back. Coming up at 11, an old baseball adage that doesn't quite feel true right now. Before we get to that, though, Mariners by the numbers. One stat that concerns us and one that doesn't.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. So much more than just physical and hand therapy, though, Shannon. You guys, holy smokes, do you have a lot of specialty care?
Yeah, Brock, we do. You know, obviously our nuts and bolts is good old musculoskeletal, but we have a lot of therapists that do advanced certifications in specialty care. And that's important because we can treat the whole population. We can treat your neighborhood. We can treat your family. And those specialty services range from neurovestibular care to dry needling, sports medicine, hand therapy, pelvic floor, vestibular rehab, lymphedema, you name it, we have that service. Again, we're about taking care of the whole family and the whole family's needs.
Remember, IRG, they're in your neighborhood. I'm talking over 40 locations and new additions in Wallingford and the WAC as well, that Washington Athletic Club. You can find them in person. You can find it online at irgpt.com. That is irgpt.com.
Calling all car enthusiasts. Fuel your weekend at Tacoma Cars and Coffee, hosted at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Cars, community, and fresh coffee for all makes and models. This event is completely free to attend. No RSVP required. Bring your family, bring your friends, and show off your favorite ride. For dates, times, and more, visit americascarmuseum.org. That's americascarmuseum.org.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Coming to Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, June 18th, it's Jim Jeffries.
If you see like an old couple and you go, how long have you two been married for? And they go, 45 years. And then I always ask, what's your secret? The man goes like this, she's always right. And then you see him go dead behind the eyes.
Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Global comedy heavyweight, Jim Jeffries, June 18th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help, call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Mariners and Royals today in KC. First pitch 4:40, 3:40 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder. Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code SHOT to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
There are a lot of numbers not to like when it comes to the Mariners, unsurprisingly. They have been kind of underwhelming to start the season. However, some numbers just matter more than others. And there are some numbers that you're going to look at and you're going to go, yeah, it doesn't look great. I totally get that. That just doesn't concern me. I'm too busy looking at this thing over here. So that's our task for us right now. Bump, what is a number that does concern you and one that just doesn't right now, where you're like, I'm not even paying attention to this?
One that concerns me is team slugging. They're 22nd in the league when it comes to slugging. And that's just driving in runs. I mean, that's been the problem with this team. I don't know if you know this, but the team that scores the most runs wins baseball games.
What?
Yeah.
Have you run that through Baseball Savant?
I did, and it came back 100%. That is how you win games. You score the most runs, and what helps that is slugging, and this team has not been great slugging. I think Randy is going out on a limb. Randy probably has the best slugging percentage on the squad right now. And as a team, they're just struggling in that department, and same as last year, runners in scoring position as well. So slugging is a big concern for me.
Should I go concern first or not?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go back and forth. My big concern, I'll go concerning first. Logan Gilbert is in the bottom 10% in MLB in hard hit percentage. I was going to look at a team stat, and there are some concerning team stats. And honestly, I know that our task was to come up with 1 and 1, but I'm sure we'll have more that we'll get to. I was so encouraged by the outing we saw from Logan. Was it the time before last? And it ended up being a Mariners loss, but he was just dominant, looked absolutely amazing. And I felt so good about that outing because he needed it. The team needed it. It wasn't enough, but you just felt really encouraged by it. And Logan is also a player where you're like, man, we've seen the best of him in 2024. I want him to be with this team long term, and I want him to incentivize this team to sign him long term, and that's going to mean better outings. That hard hit percentage allowed is so much lower than, well, it's higher than last year, but worse than last year, 47.2%. Are hard hit compared to 41.7% last year. And he's doing that while striking out fewer. The fewer strikeouts is kind of okay because he talked after, I think, his first outing about working with Cal and Pete Woodworth about being more aggressive attacking the zone and like, don't worry about giving up a hit. Don't only try to get strikeouts. Try to get outs. Mm-hmm. Get outs however you can. That's what you're chasing. Not strikeouts, outs. So I'm like, okay with the strikeout not being what it was last year, which ended up just career high for him. I'm fine with that. The hard hits are tough. It is the worst of his career, including lower than 2022 when he was also near the bottom of the league.
Yeah, you don't want to get squared up. Yeah. It's never good. Hard hits ain't good. You know what's crazy about hard hits? I went and I thought to myself while prepping for the segment, I'm like, the Mariners have to be near the bottom when it comes to hard hit, right? They have to be. They're 15th, right in the middle of the pack. In barrel percentage, they're 11th. So it's like, that gave me hope.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they're making contact.
Yeah.
They're just getting unlucky. They're getting unlucky. But then I went and found the stat that concerns me, and I said, all right, well, they're getting lucky, but they're also doing this at a high clip. One I'm not concerned about, but they kind of work together. Strikeouts are 4th in the league when it comes to striking out. Last year they were 5th or 6th, and they still went as far as they did.
That's a good one.
That's when I'm like, all right, well, I've come to terms with them leading the league when it comes to striking out, because when they're hot and they're squaring it up, they're hitting the ball hard, they go on runs and good things happen. So yeah, that could be concerning you don't like to strike out, but if the makeup of your team is to hit bombs and hit the ball hard, which they're doing okay at hitting the ball hard, the home runs are going to come, and the strikeouts come with that.
Strikeouts to me, Curtis, I'm going to turn to you for this one. It's a good point from Bump, because strikeouts to me are something that people will fairly complain about, and to me, you can do it when you're like a super outlier, but what the game is now is just going to mean more strikeouts. There are going to be very good teams that have quite a few strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, you look at we were talking about Mike Trout earlier in the show, and historically he's one of the greatest players ever. Dude strikes out a lot, and Aaron Judge, he strikes out a lot too, and Aaron Judge still is among the league leaders in batting average every single year. That is just something you're going to have to deal with in 2026, is that guys swing and miss a lot more often than they used to, and it's just what you do with the contact that you do make.
Exactly.
That's what's most important.
And that pairs perfectly with Bump's point. You looked at a stat you were concerned about was team slugging. A stat you weren't concerned about was strikeouts. And normally you'd think those are related. The New York Yankees have struck out 461 times. The Mariners 462. And Bump, I'm sure you can guess this, 2 very different slugging percentages here. They're just doing more with the contact they're making. Okay. So mine are unrelated. Yours are related. Mine are unrelated. So the one I was actually concerned about is Logan giving up more hard hits. And the reason is this team's identity. While Cal's season was special and Julio can be an MVP this year, he's off to a hot start. This team's identity is going to be its pitching and run prevention. Yeah. You get as far as those guys take you. And Logan's central to that. He was your day one starter. This is your opening day starter. Logan is monumental to your team, even if I think quite a few people wouldn't say he's necessarily your single best arm. And I'm a little concerned that more often than not, he's been giving up hard hits. The thing I'm not as concerned about, unrelated to Logan, is this team's record in one-run games. We have heard about it a ton. I have talked about it a ton. I think sometimes one-run wins and losses are a little bit of luck. Now, I will critique managerial decisions, which can impact very close games. Pitching, which can impact very close games. Bullpen decisions and bullpen performance impacts close games. Getting one run on one hit in a close game is a problem. But overall, when I look at records in one-run games, there have been less talented Mariners teams that have been significantly better in this department. And it's not something that always carries over year to year. It's a little more volatile. I care less about them. Like, I don't think there's a single answer to fix that. I think it's something I harp on, but I'm like, well, okay, some of it's luck.
You know what that makes me think about? What I said a couple of days ago that I thought this team was missing is that grit. Like, grit shows up in those tight games, right? You make a diving play, you throw your hands at a ball and it barely gets out the outfield. You do just enough to win that ball game. I think of that walk off that Cal had, the little blooper he had to right field to win the ball game. Like, moments like that is where, one, you got to get lucky. I think luck is a big part of it, but you have that grit. Like, you bear down, so to speak. And
that's right. I know that's right.
I saw Curtis leaning over, and I knew it was coming. Staying with the Mariners, there is something we always say about baseball. I don't know that it's true this year. We'll explain why next.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer at Swedish called CyberKnife. I want to bring in Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center with the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest. Dr. Meyer, is CyberKnife a new treatment?
You know, the CyberKnife technology is not new. The system has been around for more than a decade and has helped thousands of men with prostate cancer.
What can patients expect from CyberKnife treatment?
Well, the CyberKnife system is designed to help you gain control over your prostate cancer in the shortest number of treatments, and with the least impact on your romantic life and on your urinary and bowel function. The result? Well, you get back to a normal, healthy life faster.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car today.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Washington is helping men take control of their health with a free, comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value included when starting treatment. Your panel checks key health markers, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidneys, liver, and thyroid, so you can finally understand what your body's been trying to tell you. Since 2011, over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Get answers, get a plan, and start feeling better. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free, comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you want your grocery run to go further, there's Chef Store. Find food and supplies in sizes that cut down on extra trips and keep kitchens of any size stocked and ready. Open to the public, no membership required. Discover big savings at your local Chef Store today.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back in action today, this time on the road, opening a series against the Royals. First pitch at 4:40 p.m., pregame show at 3:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Speaking of the Mariners, a roster move this morning. Victor Robles has been reinstated from the 10-day IL. Connor Joe has been optioned to AAA Tacoma.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. You guys know just adages that are typically true. There's a reason they're old adages about sports. Defense wins championships. I can't think of others. They're out there. They're definitely out there. One of the things, it's not quite an adage, but just kind of like a measure that everyone says is, you know who a team is by Memorial Day. So it's not quite what I'm getting at, but like if you ask anyone, we would have Buster Olney, Schoenfeld.
We'll have Buster Olney.
We'll have Buster Olney on in an hour, but we would have a number of people on every single spring. Okay, what's our deadline for kind of deciding whether or not the team is good or the team is bad? Memorial Day. That's when everyone says it. You know who a team is by Memorial Day. Mm-hmm. You know if they're bad. You don't know if they're going to win it all, but you'll know if they'll probably not even get there. Well, I don't know if anyone else is looking at their calendars, but Memorial Day is this coming Monday. Do we know who the Mariners are? Do we know that they're good? Do we know that they're bad? Is that actually true? Is that like baseball truth or typical measurement that we use every year? Is that actually true this year?
This is why Shannon Drayer doesn't give predictions. This is exactly why, because things can change. And I think we settled on Memorial Day. People we talked to on our show says, all right, you know what team is by then. And I'm looking at this Mariners team, and I'm like, nah, I'm not sure about that yet. We were talking about it before the show, and I said, this is like you're staying at a hotel, and you said, I need another day. You know, I got some business to do here in town. I'm not done yet. Let's extend the stay a little bit. That's what I want to do with these Mariners because you just mentioned Robles is back. Not saying he's going to save the day, but he's back. Brash just got healthy. We're still experimenting with this piggyback deal. Mm-hmm. Cal is injured. Donovan's not there. JP's trying to move to third. Is Colt going to play shortstop? There's just so many things that still have to be worked out with this team. Is that I'm extending the stay. I'm not saying Memorial. I'm pushing that thing back.
I am too. I'm calling the front desk and I'm going like, hey, would it be at all possible for ideally a discount for me to continue to stay here? And the reason is not unique to the Mariners because, look, if you're a Yankees fan and you're listening, which you're not because why would you be listening to a Seattle station? But if you were a Yankees fan, you'd go, well, I'm ready to say my team's good. I don't know what's up with you guys. This sounds like an excuse. Mm-hmm. This sounds like a team that is underperformed trying to make excuses. However, I also think there's something different happening this year. This was Paul Embikides on with Buster Olney on Baseball Tonight talking about the NL and AL.
The National League is the far superior league right now, and that's a trend that we've seen in recent years. The numbers are these. As things stood through the weekend, the National League owned a 51-28 interleague series record against the American League. Buster, that's a win clip of nearly 65% just looking at the season series standings. It would be the best interleague series record by either league since its 1997 inception.
On pace to have the best interleague record since 1997. it is not the kind of American League, the kind of MLB landscape around Memorial Day that we used to feel very comfortable with several years ago. It's not as obvious which teams in the American League are going to pull away. It's not just Mariners fans making excuses. There are a lot of fans around baseball, fans of talented teams that have been very disappointing, going, I don't know who this team is. It's a third of the way through the season. It's almost June. And I don't know if this team is good. And it's not just Seattle. So I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that the gap between the NL and AL is such that there's a lot of muddy water on this side of things.
Yeah, it's we don't know how good this team is, but I think we look at it and say it's talented. It's talented enough to win the West. It's talented enough to make a run in the playoffs, but we just haven't seen it. And that's the tough part about it is you look at what they did last year. A bunch of these pieces are back. You have some young guys who've been called up, and you're still waiting for that moment to where it all clicks and comes together and says, okay, this is who they could be. But because we haven't seen the whole band together, and playing at the same time, it's hard to imagine it. So I'm just waiting for that moment, and I can't wait until that moment comes. I can't wait until it clicks and they go, it's going to start this road trip actually. Okay, it's going to start this road trip.
Wow, that's really optimistic.
Yesterday I said they're gonna go 6-0 on this road trip, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 5-1. But if they could do it, because this is a very, very doable with this road trip. Who we got? Kansas City, and then who else after that?
A's.
Then the A's. And you have an opportunity to control your own fate in the West right now, right? You take down the Royals and you take care of the A's. You should be leading this division. So, and that's without the whole band being together. Mm-hmm. So I'm still waiting. I'm patiently waiting. I'm not ready to check out of the hotel. I've extended my stay, but eventually I got to pack up and get out of here.
Curtis, are you ready to make any definitive statement about the Mariners right now? Memorial Day is days away.
I wish I was able to right now, but with how cloudy everything is, and not just the American League West, but also the American League as a whole, there is still a lot to be written and said about darn near every team. I mean, the only team I think you can definitively say are good in the AL right now are Tampa and the Yankees. That's it. Maybe the Guardians in the Central.
And even then, there's not a lot of faith Tampa will hang on.
Exactly. And because I think Tampa was a team that not a lot of people expected to be contending in the AL East this year, especially with the off seasons that the Blue Jays had, the Orioles had. The Red Sox had a lot of talent on their roster, but all three of those teams have severely disappointed to this point. But there's no team that I'm super duper confident in the AL that could knock off an NL team in the World Series. It feels like probably about 6 or 7 National League teams are better than the AL.
Sure.
Once you get past that point, then it's okay, maybe the Rays or Yankees are in that group.
Well, and closely correlated with spending as well. You look at the top 10 payrolls in baseball, you're going to find overwhelmingly the National League represented, but we're not talking about that right now. Is this a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that you aren't quite sure that the Mariners are great at Memorial Day? A measure that we would typically use. We would typically check in right now and go, all right, I'm starting to get a feel for the season. It doesn't mean the season's done, but this is, I guarantee you could go back and listen to any national guest we had on in February. I wouldn't do it. It's a waste of your time. Go back and listen, though, if you want to. And you can find almost without fail, every single one of them are going to go, around June, I think you'll have a good idea. Around Memorial Day, you'll have a good idea.
It ain't bad, but it ain't good. I mean, it's not bad because of what's going on around them. And that's the excuse we've been giving this team this whole season, is that the AL West is that bad is you can afford to come out the gate stumbling a little bit. That's why it's not bad. If they were 6 games behind, 8 games behind, and playing the way that they're playing right now, then it will be bad. But you have a lifeline. The AL West is saving your rear end right now. This is your lifeline. Phone a friend, all that good stuff. AL West is that bad to where you can still hang around and not play well. But Julio's having a good season.
Yep.
Randy's having a good season. We have a jolt of energy when it comes to Emerson. We'll see what he does. Not putting a lot of pressure on him, but that gets fans excited. We're trying to figure out this piggyback thing. I think you and I said this is the last time they're going to do it. Hopefully, no, they're figuring things out. But they better count their blessings, because we've seen a team like the Rangers get hot and go on a run. We keep hearing about how sneaky good these A's are, athletic. I'm not worried about the Astros at this point. Their pitching is so bad. They can take a back seat. But all it takes is for one of these teams to get hot and go on a run. Then you're in trouble. So just keep up.
I'm going to read you 2 texts. Tell me if you agree. So you're going to answer it. Say if you agree, because one of them's just an opinion. 360. I don't think we know anything about the Mariners, but we do know the National League is much better, which you and I agree with. If we claw our way to a World Series, we're probably playing a team far more talented.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Say it again.
Basically, they're saying even if the Mariners claw their way to a World Series, is it already lost because you're playing a team that's clearly much more talented?
No, right now that's the feeling. Right now, that's the tough part about a long season like baseball, is that there are going to be times, and now's one of those times where we feel like they just won't be able to match up against them.
Yeah.
But I feel like there will be a time where we're going to say, this is the team that we thought we were going to see.
Mm-hmm.
This is the team that has to have 1 or 2 guys overachieve too, right? Even last year, you need 1 or 2 guys to overachieve. I mean, the playoff run before that, Adam Frazier came out of nowhere and did some things, right? I believe Rivas had a moment or 2 in last year's playoff. Like, there's always going to be someone, and maybe Cole Young is that guy overachieving this year. So right now, yeah, I feel that way. If the playoffs were to start today, thankfully it is not, I'd go into the playoffs thinking, all right, we're just outmatched, and we got to get extremely lucky.
Next text from the 253. Are they underperforming or did they overperform last year?
That's a good one. I think they're underperforming, because even if Cal, he's not going to hit a 60, but he's not even playing the way he has in previous years, right? So I think that's going to be a jolt of it. I think Julio's playing better. I said Randy's playing better. No, I think that you didn't have the issues with the rotation that you're having this year that you had last year. No, I just think that there are some unfortunate situations going on that they have to work themselves through, and they better get it done fairly quickly, because the more they hang around mediocrity, it gives life to the rest of this division.
And they are mediocre right now. And I want to push back a little bit against this third text. 425 says, you guys keep saying you're not making excuses and then make excuses. At some point, a team is what it is. This team isn't good. My point is not that the Mariners are secretly playing good baseball and you just can't see it right now. My point is that in previous years, maybe not last year, but in previous years, you'd be able to have a much better feeling for who a team could probably be around Memorial Day, or like once you get over a third of the way through the season. I don't think that feeling exists for the vast majority of the American League right now. So are the Mariners playing mediocre baseball? The answer is definitively yes.
Yeah.
Are they at times playing bad baseball, making some bad managerial mistakes, having horrible games? The answer is definitively yes. Are they going to make a run in the playoffs? I don't know. Because what are they wading through to get there? They don't have to play the Dodgers in the wild card round or a divisional series. They don't have to play any of these teams that are clearly above and beyond. They don't have to play the Braves. They don't have to play, the Cubs are kind of surprised. They don't have to play those teams. The Minnesota Twins are here at 23-27. What? The Rangers are a game up on you at 24-25. The Yankees are the top wild card spot at 30-21. There's little to no division between teams right now in your league. That matters. That's important context. All the teams around you are struggling. It's not making an excuse for why you're struggling. It's saying how much of that is actually going to matter.
I don't think talking about the current situation of a team is making excuses.
No.
Like, I'm not making anything up. Guys aren't there. Guys aren't playing good. And we haven't seen them at full strength yet. That's the truth. So before, they're not playing good baseball right now.
Yeah.
But before I can sit there and say, this team is garbage, I'm like, well, let me at least see everybody together first before I do that. Let's see how this situation works out with the piggyback before I make an assessment. That's why I'm pushing the date back when it comes to Memorial, because last year they weren't dealing with all of this. Last year they were fairly healthy and rolling. And if I had 80%, 75% of their games where all their dudes were out there, I can make a definitive assessment of this team and say, this is who they are right now. Right now, I don't know. They're not playing good ball, but I'm also going to leave room for them to be healthy and then make another assessment and see. This is like a progress report card. Right now, not playing good ball. But I understand that there's some pieces that are missing.
Exactly. It's just such a weird landscape. And again, the rest of Buster's interview, and he'll be on with us later in the show, so we'll be able to talk to him about this, focuses on why that discrepancy exists between the National League and American League. A lot of it is about spending and superstars and money. The idea of whether or not that matters when you get to a World Series, I think that is something worth challenging. I know I don't love a defeatist attitude when it comes to that. The Mariners are a game back of the third wildcard spot. With how atrocious they've looked, they are a game back of holding a playoff spot. So if you're talking about their ability to maybe make a run, that's still very much alive. Last year, we saw them a couple outs away, not a couple literally, but 8 outs away from getting there. And the Blue Jays, a much bigger payroll, still took the Dodgers to 7 and nearly beat them.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariners are playing bad baseball, but it might not matter right now is the conversation that we're actually having. Again, Buster Olney is going to join us at noon. We look forward to talking to him a bit more about this. Right now, let's get to 4 football questions in 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, Bump. Who should get a second chance?
Oh, man, I wrote this question down, and then I was earlier, right around like 9:15 or something.
Have you changed your mind?
I haven't changed it, but he needs to tighten up a little bit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Ruggs was involved in a tragic accident, right? Ran into a young lady in Las Vegas going about $127. She passed away. And I think people deserve second chances. And I think that when you're a young man, you have this like adrenaline rush, like you're an adrenaline junkie. Like we just saw a Eagles player going about 130 in Georgia.
Yeah.
We saw Jalen Carter, do his thing as well. We got a young man who was drafted this year out of Miami who was involved in a car accident. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying if you go and sit down and do the time, Ruggs should deserve a second chance. That's where I started. And then I saw that he was transferred to a higher security spot in jail. So he did something to get him to this higher security spot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's fighting. Sometimes guys are going to test you in there. Who knows? But I think that if he does his time, he's sentenced to 3 to 10. He can be released as soon as August this year. If he does his time and has shown good behavior, why not give the young man a second chance? It's unfortunate what happened to the young lady. I've been around people who have made similar mistakes, driving crazy and doing all that. He's not the only one to do it. He won't be the last. Not saying that is right. But if he's set down for 3 to 4 years and it shows some good behavior, I wonder if an NFL team will take a chance on him.
Is it just that you have an easier time stomaching or justifying a second chance for someone who's done time versus someone who keeps getting away with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called a rehabilitation, right? It's correction. You're supposed to go there and try to get right. Now, the system's jacked up. Dudes come out worse sometimes. But if he can go in there, sit down, do his time, why not give this dude a second chance?
Second down. This is an interesting one. Who do you think can be the 2025 Patriots this year?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals?
They're favored 15 out of 17 of their games. I'm trying to pull up their, when it comes to toughest schedules in the league, they have the 30th, right? They have an easy schedule coming up. With all the moves that have been made, you hear Joe Burrow sounds like he's in better spirits when he's talking about this team. You made moves on defense to get some guys. We know the offense has never been the issue. 30th, or the third weakest schedule in the league this year.
Ooh, that's an important stat.
Didn't the Patriots have like the 4th weakest schedule in the league last year?
The Patriots had the weakest schedule.
Weakest. Exactly. It's set up for them. It's set up for them to be the Patriots of the 2026 season. And I say that just because I believe so much in Joe Burrow and what he can do when he's healthy and when he's in good spirits. So going off of that interview yesterday, he says this is the most talented team he's ever had since he's been in Cincinnati. Mind you, they went to a Super Bowl one year, so he's saying that he thinks they're more talented than that. Cincinnati is primed for a run. Again, you got to get lucky. Guys got to be healthy. You still got to perform. But I'll be watching the Bengals to see if they can do what the Patriots did last year.
Third down. What could be the worst thing to happen to the NFC West?
Man, there are still some really good free agents out there. All right, and I looked at ESPN put an article out. They said, look, the best NFL fits for the best 14 free agents out there. And there's two names that I do not like. They got Joey Bosa, great fit, San Francisco 49ers. Tired of the Niners. Then they say Stephon Diggs. Where do you think they like him?
Oh, God.
It's only 4 teams to pick from. The West.
Not the Cardinals, Rams.
Rams.
Okay.
The dang Rams.
I was like, Rams and Seahawks have such good rooms that I just was like, what else would it be?
Could you imagine a Los Angeles Rams receiver room with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and Stephon Diggs?
Puka and Diggs together? That's unbustable.
That's trouble. You need to monitor those guys. They need ankle monitors at all times if Diggs and Puka are together.
Gasoline on a flame.
But talent-wise, I mean, that would be probably top 3 or 4 receiver rooms in the NFL. That's trouble for the NFC West. So I would not like to see that happen. Joey, they're saying best fit is San Francisco. And then you have Diggs over there with the Rams. And it sounds like from stuff that I'm reading and hearing that the Diggs deal is a lot more likely than the Joey Bosa deal.
Fourth down. Sticking with the Seahawks for this one, what veteran needs to have a good season for the Seahawks?
Uchenna ended the season on a high note, right? Scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and he had an okay season. 7 sacks, 35 total tackles, 17 solo. With the departure of Joey Bosa is on my mind, right? Already getting nightmares. The departure of Boye Mafe, right? You need a guy like Uchenna Nwosu just to get back to who he is. He didn't have a bad season at all, not at all. But it didn't feel the impact that we're used to having with Uchenna Nwosu. So I'm looking at Uchenna and just that defensive line, that box in general, right? If you can get a veteran like Uchenna and Dante to step it up one more notch and hold things down, I like where this defense is going to go. But Uchenna Nwosu, man, he has it in him. A good ball player, was a good ball player last year. But that first year when he was with the Hawks, he had 9.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery or 2. That's the guy that we need. He's 29 years old. He's still young. I think he's capable. If he has a good offseason, comes back healthy, I think Uchenna's primed for a good year.
All right, let's jump back into, we'll dim the music just a little bit, because you had a very serious conversation for your first down about people getting second chances after committing actual crimes and then returning to the league. And a difficult and controversial topic to tackle. So credit for bringing it up and being willing to have a stand on what you believe. You are getting some people going, okay, well, what about this? What about this? Since we have 2 minutes, I just wanted to jump back into it. I thought it deserved just a little bit more time. What about someone who says, and this is kind of my take on it, frankly, that playing in the NFL is a privilege?
It definitely is.
That it's not something where oh, you get a right to try again. That you've kind of surrendered that forever.
No, playing in any league is a privilege. One, you got to be talented to do it and have some teams believe in you. But
is it just your fundamental belief in redemption?
Yeah, I think that, look, if anyone, and it depends on what it was, right?
Yeah.
Like if the 2 things that you do those things and it's all bad.
Sure.
But in this situation here, it wasn't on purpose. Was it a poor decision? Was he drunk? Was he flying down the street in Las Vegas?
Yeah, was it horrific?
Yeah, was it the poor girl and her dog died? Yeah. It's horrific. But Ruggs wasn't out there saying, I'm going to kill somebody tonight. He just made a stupid decision. And it was crazy is that there are people I know listening to this thing right now that have driven drunk, for sure, that have hit a parked car or done some things to where you wake up in the morning, you're like, how did I get away with that? How did I not hurt somebody? Right? You just got away with it. He didn't get away with it. And however long the judge says he has to sit, if he has to do the full 10, do the full 10. He does 10, he'll be too old. He ain't going to be able to play in the NFL. But if he has done his time, sat down, and is capable, if a team is willing to take that chance, I have no problem with that. It wasn't malicious. He didn't do it on purpose. It was just poor decision-making. So Yeah, man. I think most people deserve second chances unless you do two of the things that are just horrific. I mean, give him a chance. He's a young man. He messed up.
I just thought it deserved maybe just a couple more minutes because it was a very serious conversation. And people had opinions, and I was like, credit to having it. It's not easy to have, but for having something to believe in there. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Timeline coming your way next.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Do you have a car sitting around collecting dust? Well, turn that car into cash at Wayscar Ford in Auburn with their vehicle profit sharing program. Here's what makes it different than anywhere else. Not only will they purchase your vehicle today and pay you right up front, but it gets better because once they resell your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. That's right. You get top dollar for your vehicle up front. And then when Wayscar Ford resells your old vehicle, you get 50% of that profit. It's not a secret catch here. It's just a win-win for everyone. You get a hassle-free sales experience, and Wayscar Ford gets to save themselves travel costs and auction fees. The word's out now. That 50% has amounted to over $1 million shared with customers. Less and less people are comfortable trying to sell a car themselves. I had to do it once. I hated it. It sucks. So try this. Wayscar Ford offers a way to get a lot more money for your car without going through all that hassle and the potential scams of trying to do it yourself. It's only at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn. WayscarFord.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Visit America's Car Museum now where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grows fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer, food in your cart, and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
A shot to center field. Julio is there, and Julio makes the catch!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house, even when there's not an actual seat, because you're in the T-Mobile pen.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
The pen isn't just the perfect space to hang with your whole crew. It's where you can see Julio defend the no-fly zone 1 minute and watch Senor Smoke get ready for his big entrance the next.
Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Sure, the pen is standing room only, but with a team this exciting, who wants to be sitting down? Mariners baseball. Try this up.
90s weekend is coming up as the Mariners take on the D-backs. The fun gets started May 29th with 90s Fireworks Night presented by T-Mobile. Then it's back-to-back giveaways with Julio Rodriguez sleeveless jerseys on May 30th and Ken Griffey Jr. pins on May 31st. Both presented by Key Bank. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hear that? That's the sound of a car rolling into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. The sound of another savvy driver getting an oil change from trained pros. The sound of not having to leave your car while we quickly change your oil. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, there's no hassle with appointments or dealer wait times. That's one smart bell.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and owning your own deck is a great way to enjoy it. But finding the right decking solution can be overwhelming. That's why all 9 of our Puget Sound locations offer decking showrooms so you can get your hands and toes on the more than 60 decking options we carry. So if you have any questions about building, maintaining, or repairing your deck, contact me personally. Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Trex decking products on sale now through May 31st at Dunn Lumber.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Awful news yesterday. The NASCAR world, you guys have all seen this, tragically lost a legend when it was announced Kyle Busch passed away unexpectedly at the age of 41. 41.
Yo, I saw that pop up and saw the year he was born, and that hit home. 85, same year I was born.
The AP reports that Busch was found unresponsive while in a racing simulator in Charlotte. He's only the second active driver to die since, obviously, Dale Earnhardt passed away back in 2001. Just 11 days ago, Busch radioed to his team that he needed to see a doctor post-race about a lingering sinus infection.
Kyle Busch has been suffering from a sinus cold all week. Lost 5 spots on that pit stop. He has asked to have medical attention available after the race. Here's his radio.
And can somebody try to find Bill Heisel, the Hendrick doctor guy? Tell him I need him after the race, please. Hey, do you want Mr. Bill at your car and at your bus after the race? Bus. I'm going to need a shot. Copy. He'll be at your bus.
Again, incredibly shocking because of the suddenness. He was still competing as recently as this past weekend when he won the NASCAR Truck Series race and had these poignant words in victory lane.
Michael Waltrip said earlier in the race that a confident Kyle Busch is a dangerous Kyle Busch. Your 69th victory in this series, your 5th right here. Why do these moments never get old, Kyle?
Because you never know when the last one is, you know.
Man.
He had more combined wins in NASCAR's 3 biggest series than any other driver in history.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I got the details on how he was found and just practicing, in the simulator, working, grinding. And it's unfortunate. You think about his kids and his wife.
Yeah,
and,
young family.
Kyle Busch, one of the few names that I recognize in NASCAR right now, too.
Yeah, it's obviously one of those shocking things when it's never okay. Like, it's always going to be tragic no matter what, but it's something that catches you off guard. There are just certain stories you hear about. I'm sure that all of you right now can think of a death of a celebrity or an athlete that just completely, I already know who yours would be, that just completely caught you off guard because it was so sudden and you just thought, what? Wait, I have a million questions. What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's the way that he passed too, where it was just so sudden.
Nondescript, just sinus infection.
And then just collapsed yesterday, and that was it. I mean, it's always stunning when somebody who looked like, he was in good health too, only 41 years old, was
just racing.
It is one of those, sad reminders of, as he mentioned in his post-race interview there, this could be my last victory.
Yeah.
And it always kind of reminds you of the fragility of life where, you could have this happen to you as well. None of us know when stuff like this is going to happen. And, I mean, like Bump said, one of the most recognizable names in that sport, kind of one of the last of that era, too, of really brash personalities. A guy who was racing with like Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, and then to this era now. Like, I was thinking yesterday, like looking at his career, I was like, man, he's probably like mid 40s, early 50s or something. No, only 41. It's like he accomplished a ton in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, born in 85. We just wanted to take a couple minutes off the top of the timeline. I know the timeline is normally silly stories and funny things and viral stuff that's going on, but we just wanted to take a moment to recognize Kyle and obviously talk about that breaking news from yesterday shocking the sports world. So with that, let's get to some lighter stories here. Knicks guard Josh Hart had a hilarious response when asked whether he relies on analytics in his game. Take a listen.
I'm never a huge analytics guy. At a certain point, they're a lamppost to a drunk person. You can lean on them, but it won't get you home. So at a certain point, you got to have a good feel for the game. Oh, my God, bro.
That's a bar.
Like a lamppost to a drunk person. You can lean on them, but they won't get you home.
I like that because analytics don't tell you everything, especially in basketball, right? They don't tell you that Josh Hart closed out a three-point shooter with 30 seconds left and made him swing the ball, and now the shot clock's down to 2. They're forcing up a bad shot. Like, it doesn't show you all that. It gives you a baseline, but you have to watch the game and feel the flow of the game to really understand.
I was going to say, I actually like that. Like, it's funny and we're all laughing, but he's quietly pointing out one of the big flaws with how, I mean, in this case, we're talking about the Knicks, but you could apply this to the NFL, to MLB, to any league when analytics are overly relied upon, that you ignore some minor things. I shouldn't say minor, some less obvious things about players' games, about the game, about the feeling of a game. I mean, you would know, I don't, but like, when you rely on it a little too much to make very definitive statements.
Yeah.
They're not always going to be as soundproof as you think.
No, that's why I like watching games with people who know the game better than me on a different level, because they're not going to lean on the box score. They're going to talk. That's going to be part of the conversation, but they're going to talk about the ups and downs, the flow of the game.
Next up, speaking of the NBA, we can't tell if this is real or not. Like, you can Google it. It's out there. NBA villain Dylan Brooks, ex of Kendall Jenner, is selling an Operation-style board game. You guys know Operation. Stick the tweezers in, it buzzes at you. It's in partnership with Underdog Sports. It's called Unethical Hoops. The character in the box looks an awful lot like SGA. Here's the commercial.
What's up, y'all? It's the villain, and I got something to reveal from Underdog. Unethical Hoops. Fire. So let me open this up. All right, how we set up. This is what the board looks like. Head snap. A lot of people do that. Hook was James Harden's move. Push off. Try this. You know I don't foul. Oh, foul. Next player's turn. Get yours when they come out at unethicalsports.com and play your game with your friends and family and get reacquainted with the new foul baiting from the villain. Hell yeah. You get the foul call. Tweet, tweet.
Is it a funny joke or is it a real game? Who knows whether it's actually going to be released for purchase. But, Bump, your reaction to this very clear shot from Dylan.
Lean into it, Dylan, and he has. You saw him underneath the hoop at the Lakers game trolling LeBron James when he's at the foul line. You know, they've gotten into it. This is who he is. And, listen, I don't like the way that SGA plays the game. Like, he hits the ground on almost every shot begging for a foul. That does not mean he ain't nice. Like, SGA is nice. And this is what basketball has turned into. I appreciate Dylan Brooks' troll here.
Could SGA have the same type of career without doing what he does?
Yeah, for sure.
Why doesn't he?
My man has averaged, 30 points the last couple of seasons, 2 MVPs back-to-back, was like second or third a few years ago. He the referees allow this. They're the ones that allow it.
Okay.
He wouldn't do it if it wasn't working. But because he's getting these calls, he's just going to keep doing it.
Cash, you're young. Do you watch the NBA?
No, I won't care until Seattle gets a team.
Okay, that's totally fair. I think a lot of people are like that. Dang it, this ruins the study that I was going to execute here. Instead, I'll just ask Curtis and Bump individually. Neither of you are like older individuals, but you are both older millennials. Do you think that young people, I'm talking people a generation or two below us, care as much as you guys do, because you guys are in between generations of players. Like, you're young enough to know a slightly older school style of basketball, but
no, I don't care. This is how they grew up watching basketball.
Yeah.
This is their game.
You don't think they're like disgusted by it? You don't think that they're like, come on, man?
I'll go to a high school game right now. There would be 3 guards doing the same thing SGA is doing.
So it's just old heads.
It's generational.
Like
thing.
all of us
Yeah.
looking at it going, this is a gross style.
Exactly.
Okay.
1,000%.
Just making sure. Time for the IRG injury report, brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Victor Robles has been activated off the 10-day IL, and a corresponding move, Connor Joe, has been optioned to AAA Tacoma. Gabe Spire, dealing with that shoulder injury, had a rehab outing with Everett on Wednesday. Also, Matt Brash made his return to the Mariners on Wednesday and pitched a scoreless inning of relief. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up, our single biggest questions about the Mariners right now.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Oh, man, the ups and downs of any baseball season are obviously incredible, but this one feels like it's got a lot of ups and downs.
Beyond the expectations, why does this feel so volatile? Is there's kind of like real life stuff off the field, the real life injury stuff.
I think it's being close. I think it's feeling like that goal is right in front of you. You got to the ALCS last year. You are so close.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Welcome to IRG Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, and his guest, Dr. Wayne Weil, MD, orthopedic surgeon with Orthopedic Specialists of Seattle.
We are talking today baseball finger, the old mallet finger. Dr. Weil, what is it?
So mallet finger or baseball finger is basically a droopy DIP joint. That's the joint at the tip of your finger by the nail. And typically what happens on a direct blow to the tip of the finger DIP joint gets flexed down forcibly and can either tear the extensor tendon so that the finger doesn't lift up, or it can fracture the attachment of the tendon, which effectively does the same thing in that it causes the DIP joint to droop down, and it's a problem with the connection of the extensor tendon. Most of these fractures can be treated non-operatively with a splint. Typically, we'll splint the DIP joint in extension for 6 weeks.
Wow. So this is that typical injury where the ball strikes into the finger, forces it into flexion or bend, rips the extensor hood or tendon, and then you have this droopy finger. Can be fixed. Sometimes it's splinting, sometimes it's surgery, but return to play 4 to 6 weeks, fair to say?
For regular people, 6 to 8 weeks. For a professional athlete, 4 weeks.
That's awesome. Dr. Weil, thank you for your time. If you want more information regarding any hand injuries, you can contact Dr. Wayne Weil at SeattleHandandElbow.com. That's SeattleHandandElbow.com.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at IRGPT.com. That's IRGPT.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic Collector Car, Truck, and Boat Auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
Mariners and Royals today in KC. First pitch 4:40, 3:40 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code SHOT to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Around the Diamond is sponsored by Klein Jewelers.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Going baseball heavy a little bit for the middle of the show. We will get back to the NFL and the Seahawks at 12:30 when we take a look around the NFL. Buster Olney is going to join us in 15 minutes. Before we get to that, our single biggest question about the Mariners right now, with the Mariners set to open up a series against the Royals at 4:40 p.m. What's your single biggest question about the Mariners?
Castillo, is he going to the pen? Will he like going to the pen? How will he do in the pen?
Yeah.
I think it's hard watching this. You know what I mean? It's hard watching Castillo struggle the way that he has because you remember just all the good times we had together. Watching Castillo, I remember his very first start in New York, man. He was nasty. And I'm like, this is our guy. And we were doing a segment, and we created like a wish list for what the what we wanted for the Mariners. And my wish list was like Castillo. And I'm like, but there's no way they're going to get Castillo. And they got him. So I'm attached to Castillo. I wanted him here. I didn't think they were going to get him. So when they did, it was a surprise. And then all I remember are just the good times. So just Castillo in the pen. How does it happen? When does it happen? And how does he function out of there?
I think you're right. I think that's the biggest question with this team right now. It's kind of this, like, it's not an elephant in the room. We're all talking about it. The Mariners are being asked about it. Dan's being asked about it. But, hey, is one of your starters going to have to transition to the pen? That's a pretty massive question about this team right now. My single biggest question about the Mariners right now, will Dan eventually turn away from platoons if they aren't working? The Mariners brought in Rob Refsnyder to mash lefties. And look, Luke Riley's got 10. He's leading the team in home runs. He's got 10 home runs. He's not good against lefties. That's just a fact. He's not. That's okay. That's fine. But the platoon right now isn't the solution the Mariners thought it would be. How often do you keep turning that out? Rob Refsnyder has 52 ABs against lefties this year. Guess how many hits he has?
7.
Okay, Curtis. 52 ABs, how many hits?
5.
Cash, you want to guess?
I'm going to go like 2.
Okay, well, Cash is understandably pessimistic there. The answer is 5. All of you were obviously very close, and you got where I was going with this. He's hitting .096 against lefties. He is not, in fact, mashing lefties. Now, I agree. Jason Churchill was on with Brock and Salk last week, and I agree with Church on this one, that part of the problem is he's just not getting time. Like, it's just not, you know what I mean? He's not able to get into the swing of things. That affects your confidence. Then you're struggling. Like, I think that there's more going on than just, oh, he sucks. But it's not working right now, and that's a fact. So if, let's see, you got first pitch at 4:40. If they get into the 5th against Kansas City, starter gets taken out, maybe he's not doing so great, and they put in a lefty, are you gonna pull Raley in the 5th? That's my big question about the team right now.
I like that because that is one of the few ways that Dan can affect in-game play, is making those decisions. And like you pointed out, it just ain't been working. It ain't been working. If you hire someone to do a job and he's not doing that job, you probably shouldn't do that job.
Probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah. So what type of adjustments? And that's the thing about Dan, is that's the thing that people question, is just decision making like that. And I always leave room for, what if the call is coming from upstairs, right? I would hope that they let Dan manage the game the way that he wants to manage it. But I also would hope that if the way he's managing isn't working or isn't up to par, then they have a conversation with him and help him make these decisions. But yeah, I think it's time. It's time to switch something up. Same thing like with the piggyback. We're going to see with the piggyback.
Yep.
That don't work. It's time to move.
Then you have to move.
This ain't a permanent thing anyway. It shouldn't be a permanent thing.
Well,
it's a trial.
And don't have self-inflicted errors here, right? The piggybacking is like a self-inflicted wound. Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You could find a solution. It's hard, but like, you could find one. You don't want managers to force your hand as easily here. Curtis, what's your single biggest question about the Mariners right now?
I think it stems from what we saw pregame on Wednesday and what we heard postgame. J.P. Crawford taking grounders at third base. I want to know, when's that going down? Is that something that is in the immediate future? Is that something that they're maybe getting JP ready for down the road? Because there's a lot of implications that come with that, because Brendan Donovan, when healthy, is likely your third baseman. Cole Emerson can play third. JP trying to add some flexibility to his repertoire, getting some reps at third. And so if JP's at third, that would probably mean Cole Emerson's at short, which then where do you put Donovan? Do you put him in left field? Okay, what do you do with Randy in that case? Do you make Randy your DH? I don't think Randy would want that in a contract year. Do you put Randy in right field? Who knows what happens here? There's a lot of guys available and eligible to play at third, but from that, you've then got to piece together your lineup in a way that I don't know if Dan Wilson has, I'm sure he's thought of right now, but all of a sudden it just kind of complicates things a little bit more.
Let's get back to the platoon one for a minute. Someone said, why can't you say the same about Luke Raley? About Ref Snyder, I said, maybe part of the problem with why Ref Snyder's been so awful, I heard Churchill talking about this, is just a total lack of time. Mm-hmm. You're with a new team. You're struggling with your new team. Then you're in your head. You know what I mean? Like, being in your head is real.
Yeah.
I've never been a professional athlete, but Bump, you've talked about this, and you've heard players talk about it. It's not just me saying it. Like, it is very real that you can go out and be just kind of mentally stuck. So I said, maybe a small part of it is not getting those chances, but eventually you just need to stop. So he's saying, why can't you say the same thing about Luke? Because Luke has gotten those chances, and I don't think Luke would be offended by someone pointing out that in his career against lefties, he's 178. So my thing is, Ref Snyder isn't getting it done this year. You're sacrificing Luke coming back up with maybe 2 on, 2 out in the 8th in place of trying to get a matchup that isn't really working for either right now. So it's not that I think that Raley can come out and suddenly rake against lefties if just given more opportunities. It's that I don't want him to miss out on opportunities he will definitely get later in the game.
Let Luke swing. That's what I say. Ref Snyder ain't getting it done. Let Luke get it done. He's had, 6 at-bats this year against lefties, 1 hit, 1 run score, 2 strikeouts. I'm switching something up if I'm Dan.
Yeah. Do you think he will, though?
No.
Don't you think that there's a bad enough slash line you could have that would make someone switch it up? If you're hitting under 100.
You know what this smells like? Well, the data says, there's something that is attracting Dan to not making that move. What is he being fed? What is he being told? What does he believe in? I have questions. I will not get the answers.
They're questions that I want the answers. Let's go around the dime. And the Mariners, speaking of, open a series against the Royals later today. Pregame's coming up at 3:30 p.m. on Seattle Sports. First pitch is at 4:40 p.m. That's Around the Diamond, brought to you by Klein Jewelers Edmonds. Coming up next, it's ESPN's Buster Olney.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
To see Colt Emerson. In 2 games, he's looked awesome.
In that moment, it's like we saw what Colt Emerson can be. You're talking about a franchise-type player there. Yeah. When you have one already in center field and when you have one already behind the plate, that's when great teams are built.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
What does baseball and Klein Jewelers have in common? Diamonds, of course. Hi, Andy Klein here. Sure, we love baseball, but we love diamonds even more. Why? Because our diamonds sparkle and last longer than 9 innings. Every diamond is hand-selected for maximum brilliance, quality, and value. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds also has a big selection of engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond and gemstone fashion jewelry, and one-of-a-kind custom designs. Swing for the fences and shine with Klein.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Every family has a story to tell. At Dunn Lumber, ours is about trust. During the Great Depression, trust was hard to come by. People were so skeptical of banks. Customers would stop by the lumberyard, put their money in an envelope, and leave it in this safe. The safe still stands today as a symbol of our most valuable asset, your trust. If there's ever anything we can do to better earn your trust, email me personally. Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, building trust since 1907.
Go ahead, take the leap. Upgrade your pad with Snohomish PUD. Trim your energy costs and cozy up your home with rebates on windows, insulation, heat pumps, and more. Get the jump on comfort and savings you'll enjoy for years. Snohomish PUD has helped customers save energy and money for over 45 years. Don't wait. Hop over to snowpud.com/rebates.
People can see through if it's not genuine, and it's genuine here. The Johnsons always talk about in orientation meeting, their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business. We're not here to sell cars and work on cars. That's what we do, but it's really about just helping people. Every month we have a new employee orientation meeting, and the Johnsons present. They can't get out to all the stores every day and meet everyone, but at least they get to shake hands with new employees every month in the orientation meeting. And they tell everyone there's not one car deal or one repair order that is worth tarnishing our reputation and ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I get so used to hearing our pro teams in town talk about talent acquisition being the lifeblood of their teams. At IRG, how important is talent acquisition for you?
Brock, talent acquisition is everything. Here at IRG, we are looking for those people that want to be the best and the brightest. You know, our strength here at IRG is what I call our human capital. And our clinicians here at IRG are great, but we expect greatness. We provide them with ample mentorship opportunities, continued education, advanced certification payment, in addition to providing Con Ed. When they receive advanced certifications, we also increase their base salary because they've improved themselves as a professional. They've improved their ability to provide great care, and that's what it's all about here at IRG. Great care. We want the best and brightest.
With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is in your neighborhood. Find all the details at irgpt.com.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS, KARS Cars for Kids.
carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car today. Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back in action today, this time on the road, opening a series against the Royals. First pitch at 4:40 p.m., pregame show at 3:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Speaking of the Mariners, a roster move earlier this morning. Victor Robles has been reinstated from the 10-day IL, and a corresponding move. Connor Joe's been optioned to AAA Tacoma.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. ESPN's Buster Olney joining us right now. And Buster, we're obviously fans of baseball tonight and listen regularly. So it was pretty cool to tune in and hear Jerry DiPoto. We used some sound from that interview yesterday. Glad to have you on now. I wanted to ask you, in that conversation with DiPoto, which covered a variety of topics, what stood out most?
Well, I'm a being a reporter, I'm a trade nerd. Like, I love trades. And so to hear his perspective on making trades, because as you guys know, Jerry is viewed in the industry as being one of the swashbuckler trades general managers in terms of making deals. And so to hear, the advice that he got from Billy Beane was really cool, where Billy said to him when he took over the Diamondbacks, hey, don't look back. And I do think that that's a trait that some of the best executives share. A.J. Preller of the Padres being an example, that Mike Hazen of the Diamondbacks, Andrew Friedman of the Dodgers. They will make deals. They're not trying to rip off one of their colleagues. They're hoping the deal works out for everybody. And I think that's part of what it makes them successful about making deals. And it'll be really interesting, going into this year's trade deadline with so much parity in the American League. Will that become, as it was last year, a real weapon for the Mariners?
Do you feel like at this point, obviously there's still some more baseball to be played, do you feel like a trade is necessary, or do you think that there's enough here for the Mariners to accomplish their goals?
Well, I think every team has its holes, right, that develop during the course of the year. I think what's interesting about where the Mariners sit today is we don't totally know where that's going to be. They've been terrible against left-handed pitching. And they signed Rob Refsnyder, who's a great teammate. He's a great veteran. I know he talked with the Yankees people, and they wonder why the Red Sox ever let him get away. But to this point, that hasn't paid off. Will there be a time when, that hole will be filled by Rob? Or as they get Victor Robles back now off the injured list, will they start to perform better? When Cal comes back, will he be better? I think that when we look at them, and Cade Anderson, what role is he going to play when he inevitably gets called up to the big leagues? Will he become like that, the 2-month bullpen phenom who becomes a shutdown guy for the postseason? I think we just don't know quite yet exactly what the Mariners' need is going to be.
You mentioned kind of the muddiness and murkiness of the American League. Earlier in the show, we were talking about how, usually you'd think you can get a pretty good feel for your team around Memorial Day, which is this coming Monday, and we don't quite have a feel for the Mariners. And then we were saying, look, we're not making excuses saying that what the Mariners' disappointing start has been is because of the American League. What we're saying is, how much does it really matter? So I wanted to throw that question your way. To what extent does this potentially help American League teams? Like, why is the context of the American League being so messy right now important for teams like the Mariners that are underperforming but still planned on being contenders?
The American League is the land of opportunity. I mean, it's incredible. You know, the Red Sox have this horrifically bad offense that doesn't hit home runs, and they're still within a couple of games of a wild card spot. The Tigers, their season has been a total disaster, and yet they're not dead and buried because no one's run away. They're still in contention for the wild card spot. And if you're the Mariners, with everything that's going on in the American League, man, it's just so forgiving. Now, I fully expect that at some point they're going to seize this division by the throat because unlike, the Red Sox trying to come back in the American League East or the Tigers trying to come back in the Central where the Guardians might have their best offense in almost a decade, I don't think those teams will go back and contend for a division. The divisional context for the Mariners is you have an A's team that has great everyday players and really suspect pitching, an Astros team which probably is going to mull a sell-off before the deadline with all the hits that they've taken this year, an Angels team which is in the conversation for the, who's the worst in baseball, and a Rangers team which I think, generally speaking, has been pretty mediocre. And they just lost Corey Seager to an injury. There really is no excuse for the Mariners not to win this division, given how good they were. We saw at the end of last year how good they could be as, Cal comes back inevitably as their talent manifests.
How do you feel about the piggyback situation over here, and how do you think this thing ends?
I think this is a case where the Mariners are just gathering information, and I'm not exactly sure how it ends. I think that at some point, they're going to just determine whether or not Luis Castillo can work out of the bullpen, and if that's something that he can respond to, will that help his velocity? Will he be able to be effective out of that role? And I think that's the sort of thing teams are going to do when you're paying a player the way that they are with Castillo. Clearly his stuff has diminished from where it's been, so they're trying to make chicken salad out of the situation, and so they're trying this. And here's the thing: the American League West affords them the opportunity to do that, but I don't think it's necessarily going to last the way that we saw them try to play it out the other day.
Not everyone in the American League is struggling. The Yankees and the Rays have kind of pulled ahead. I know who the Yankees are. I expected the Yankees to be very good this year, so I've kind of put aside looking for some kind of Achilles heel or big weakness where the Mariners can surpass them. The Rays surprised me, though. So what should I know about how they're getting it done right now and how long-lasting it could be?
So what's so fun about the Rays is they are just like the college basketball team that puts on a full court press for 40 minutes. They just come at you. They had a series against the Yankees in April down in Tampa Bay, and it's been decades since I saw a team that was so discombobulated by another team's speed. Chandler Simpson is so much fun to watch with the Rays. He's a speed guy who understands he's a speed guy. He doesn't care if he doesn't hit a single home run. He just knows that if he puts the ball on the ground, then chaos will erupt. And he gets on first. The Yankees in that series didn't know, exactly how to defend against him. The corner infielders have to come in an extra 10 feet compared to what the norm is with other hitters in baseball. They bunt a lot. They put the ball in play. They're a little bit like Toronto in how they don't strike out a lot. But they just have a couple of guys who are dynamic with speed, and the Junior Caminero is a huge slugger in the middle of their lineup. They are legit. And it's interesting because I've talked to agents and general managers who told me that during the winter, the message they were getting from the Rays was, yeah, we might have a rebuilding situation during the course of this year. Nope. They're legitimately good. And it'll be very interesting tonight. Garrett Cole comes off the injured list, pitches for the first time in 14 months for tonight's game. I talked to Aaron Boone today on his drive into Yankee Stadium, and he said he is ready. In his last rehab start, he's thrown 99.6 miles per hour. But the big question is, how will he handle game situations? And you talk about going into the deep end of the pool in your first start off the IL. The Rays are all about game situations and putting pressure on opponents.
I don't mind seeing this team struggle, but I want to know what you think they should do. The Astros, they are not very good this year. Pitching has been bad. I saw. Sell. So get rid of everybody is what you're saying.
Send everyone away.
I think that because of the mediocrity of the American League, it's going to be a great seller's market because there are going to be a ton of teams looking to do stuff at the trade deadline. So in that vacuum of having very many good players out there, what the Astros did for a decade was dominate the American League, and that window is closed. And so now if you're the Houston front office, if you're owner Jim Crane, and they might not want to hear it, but the best way to reset, especially with a possible labor situation coming up next spring, would be to take Jeremy Pena into the trade market, to take Yordan Alvarez into the trade market, Hunter Brown into the trade market. 3 major impact players, plus some other parts like Christian Walker. They could make a killing this year. To me, trying to prop up the team for one more season, then risk the value loss in a possible labor stoppage at the beginning of next year, that to me is folly. Just be aggressive. And let's face it, part of the reason why I'm not endorsing this strategy, but it clearly worked for them, the part of the reason why the Astros were dominant for a decade was because they tanked for 4 years. Mm-hmm. So do a baseball version of tanking. Go and trade away your best players, cut your payroll down, load up on prospects, and get ready for 2027.
Hey, kind of a weird question here. I wanted to talk about manager impact. Dan Wilson is well-liked in the clubhouse from everything we hear. But, look, he's a newer manager there. It feels like every other game, and maybe this is the case with every fan base, but it feels like every other game there's something that people just go, Dan, come on, you can't have consecutive mound visits here, right? Like just little things. I wanted to ask how much that ends up mattering, because when I was trying to rattle through, okay, who are some immediate World Series teams that I can think of, I kept going to managers that were more experienced, who, were well-respected, not free of mistake, but certainly could kind of make up the gap there. Does it matter? Can you still be a World Series team with a manager that's still kind of raw at certain things?
Yes, you can. And I, could cite examples from history where, you'd ask players like, hey, how is so-and-so as a manager? And they go, man, the guy's not the sharpest knife in the tool shed, right? And so you absolutely can win without it. I think Dan is learning. I think he's though he's not a young person, he's new to managing in the big leagues. In my sense, and I covered every game in the American League Championship Series, covered the end of that Tigers series, and my perception is that the players respect him. He has a good feel for the clubhouse, and he's still learning about different parts of being a big league manager, including, dealing with idiots like me. And I do think that, getting some reps really helps. I've had this conversation with, Aaron Boone and Alex Cora. They're just things you're never going to anticipate, things you can't really prepare for, and suddenly they're in front of you, and you have to deal with them. He's one of the managers. I don't think anyone wants to use the WBC, out loud as an excuse, but I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of the teams that were loaded with WBC players, Kansas City is another one, the Mets, the Mariners, they've all gotten off the slow starts. From Dan's perspective, how do you deal with that? I think that he's still learning in his role.
You pretty much called the Colt Emerson call up, man. You were a couple of days off. What have you seen out of him so far? And how did you know, Buster? How did you know?
You're talking to people and you're getting a feel for things, and I'm sure I'm one of a million who probably put it in that time range too. So, look, so far it's funny because so far, he looks comfortable. You like the at-bats so far, but you really don't focus on the results, because I just have seen so many young players get to the big leagues for the first time, and it can be overwhelming. They're dealing with things like finding a place to live and getting used to, a new clubhouse, a new situation, having to deal with more media. And he's getting a rash of that at the outset because he is coming with a ton of advance notice and that contract. I would say this. I think what J.P. Crawford did the other day was so phenomenal. You know, we talked on the podcast yesterday when we taped it about, you know, drawing up a list of the top 10 teammates in baseball this year. You know, Paul Goldschmidt of the Yankees being a great example of that. I think what JP did was phenomenal just because here's the thing. You know, Sparky Anderson back in the day, the Reds manager, used to say that the most difficult thing to deal with was an aging star. And JP has been a really good player for the Mariners for a long time. And for him to basically acknowledge that, look, you know, my best days are probably behind me. And maybe the best shortstop on this team is this other guy. That makes it so much easier for him to deal with it. I always remember the story. Cal Ripken, you know, for years was a shortstop of the Orioles. And Mike Bordick, the Orioles wanted to trade for him. And Mike Bordick wanted to find out from Cal, hey, what did you think? And Cal didn't call him, and Cal didn't call him, and Cal didn't call him. And eventually, you know, Bordick called him, and Cal's message was, hey, do what you think is right, or do what's best for you, that sort of thing, as opposed to what JP is doing, which is like, hey, welcome to the team. I'm going to be open to moving. It makes it so much easier, you know, for Dan, for Colt, for everybody when you have a player handle it like this.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And credit to him for, right, as to your point, being the one to initiate, the one to approach, doesn't put the manager in a bad spot. Great stuff from JP and good stuff from Buster Olney, kind enough to join us to talk about a very murky American League and still a promising Mariners team. Thanks, Buster.
Thanks, Buster.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good summer. It's going to get better, and I appreciate you listening.
Thanks so much. I think Buster's right. I hope Buster's right. Look, Buster knows a lot about baseball, man.
Buster
He's got
called
a good feel for
Colt
this.
Emerson. I'm listening to whatever Buster says.
You know what I mean? Buster in February called Colt Emerson's debut. So I know he was
nearly
trying
to the day.
Yeah, trying to be humble about it, but I mean that's pretty specific. So I hope he's right that it's going to be a good summer. Fingers crossed. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Rams and Matthew Stafford agreed to a one-year, $55 million extension through the 2027 season. What's the real headline?
So you've got money on the books. If Stafford doesn't play next year, boy, the Rams are really taking advantage of having that quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah, they are. Matthew, well-deserved. You know what? And it's easier for me to say this after the Hawks have won a Super Bowl, beat you in the conference championship game. You know, beat you on Thursday Night Football. Easier for me just to be happy for Matthew, but now I'd be happy for him regardless because I believe he's an 80s baby, and we still in this thing.
He is.
And he won MVP last year, so way to represent. This allows Ty to sit. I think this is a perfect scenario for Ty. We knew this was going to go down eventually, but perfect scenario for Ty. You sit there, you learn, and hopefully they got it right. If they did not get this pick right, it's going to be one of the biggest blunders we've seen in the NFL draft in the last 20 years.
Well, and maybe they don't. Curtis's point earlier was if one of the talking points for people defending the pick was, oh, and then you get a guy on a rookie deal, that kind of gets thrown out the window if you have this money on the books anyways, which is totally fair. But people are still going to defend the pick no matter what. Maybe it works out. Maybe it's spectacular. Does it mean anything for Sam Darnold? A question that we were asked earlier.
Nah, I think Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford just won MVP, right? If Sam Darnold had one MVP, Super Bowl MVP, then maybe there's a push. I guarantee you his agent texted him or hit him up like, you see that Matthew Stafford deal? You know, I think this comes more into play next year. If Stafford can put together another year and climb the ladder when it comes to being perceived as a top-tier quarterback, then I think this becomes a conversation.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number two, the Knicks down the Cavs 109-93 last night to take a 2-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. What's the real headline?
Maybe the Cavs should have told James Harden this was a strip club because then he would have showed up.
You know what's frustrating about James Harden is that he has all that talent, He doesn't show up, and I don't think he cares. He's like,
You don't think he cares?
No,
I don't think he does either.
He's like, nah, I'm rich. I'm one of the greatest shooters of all time. I'm going to Hall of Fame. He just seems like a selfish person to me.
Can I say something hatery right now?
Sure.
And you guys are bigger NBA fans than me. I like the NBA playoffs. I've been, watching the first of the Western Conference Finals. Was a fantastic game. Like, that's when I kind of start to tune in more regularly. Shame on me, I know. But this is something that I can never get behind, and I do think you see it more in the NBA. Am I wrong? That kind of like, who cares? I'm getting paid. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you aren't hungrier than that?
It shows up most in the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. And,
For
I
sure.
can't get behind that attitude. And I'm not saying that there aren't guys in the NBA that are, insanely competitive. Wemby's clearly one of them. It's just that attitude from James Harden. I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't get behind
It's
it.
easy to be like that. In football, you can't be nonchalant or you will get seriously
Right,
injured. You're going to get
exactly.
injured regardless. But
Yeah.
You can't be out there not caring. NBA, I'm going to sit there and dribble 20 times, shoot up a 3, not play defense. Oh, and guess what? My contract's guaranteed. I ain't tripping.
Did you ever play with anyone in the NFL who clearly didn't care? Or is that a more
no,
rare
I've never.
personality type?
You cannot do that in football. You won't last very long.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Giants and GM Joe Shane have agreed to a multi-year contract extension. What's the real headline?
Oh, is he being rewarded for fixing the problems he created?
He is. I think he's done a good job. He's done a good job. You got your franchise quarterback. I hope. I'm cheering so hard for Dart. I hope it works out, man. I hope he is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this league for the next 10 years. I just like his swag and the way he goes about his business. You pick up Reese out of Ohio State, lineman from Miami, Francis, Colton Hood, who was connected to the Seahawks. Neighbors is there, Scattaboo.
New head coach.
New head. Hey, you jacked up a few years ago, but I feel like he's righting his wrongs right
It's hard for me, and shame on me for this, to buy into how real the Giants are going to be. Maybe it feels a little bit like, and I could be wrong, but when so Caleb Williams' first season, when people were like, oh, the Bears are going to win the division. The Bears are going to, I feel like with the Giants, the hype around them, the fact that they were almost the Seahawks regular season opener on Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I feel like the hype is maybe a year or two too early with this team. And it's there because it's the Giants. Am I wrong?
The NFL wants them to be great.
The NFL wants the
bad.
Giants. Exactly. They want the Giants with those personalities and with it being obviously the Giants, John Harbaugh to in a dream world, them and the Cowboys are the two best teams in football.
now. Just look at that roster.
Really?
Isaiah Likely was the better tight end in Baltimore. Brian Burns is over there.
Kept all his feet in bounds.
Reese. They have a chance. Obviously, they get a bit more pub because they're in New York.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I think they have a legit chance to be a 9-win team. I'm not saying they're going to completely turn things around.
How about who's winning the NFC East?
Who's going to win the East? The Cowboys. I think the Cowboys. I think they fix their defense.
I did not think you would say that.
I think they fix their defense. I think the Cowboys.
I think the Eagles have too much drama right now.
Yeah.
Really? I thought
I think
you
they
would
have
say
the most talent.
Eagles.
I think the Eagles are the most talented team in that division, but I think it is a highly combustible situation in Philly.
Okay, that's fair.
I think the Cowboys got the best defensive player in the draft at pick 11.
But is that enough to fix a very bad defense that did actually improve once they added Williams, under the radar? But
you know what? I'm not saying they're Super Bowl. We're talking the division. I'm going with the Cowboys.
are the Giants a playoff team?
No.
See, then the hype's too early.
It's everybody can't be the Patriots.
Why would you schedule a team that's clearly not going to be why would you schedule a team that's probably not going to be a playoff team for week 1?
Who?
The Giants were almost the Seahawks
Yeah,
opponent on Wednesday night.
That was the rumor, is that it was between the Patriots and Giants.
It was from
That's the
Mike
final
North
pick.
himself. He
Yeah.
said we thought about the Giants too.
Really? Because they're the Giants and Harbaugh's over there.
See, I
It'd be
think
fun. And they got, man.
Your love of Jackson Dart is clouding your judgment
No,
right now.
look at that
Yes, it
roster.
is. No, you're
Stacey,
in love with his swagger.
look at the roster.
That's your boy.
Look at the
You
roster.
saw Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo on
And-
Media Row, and
Yeah,
you were like,
and you said,
man,
I want to butt
look at
heads
that,
too.
Look at that aura.
When you
Yeah.
saw
When you
we
saw
were by
Cam
the bounty-
Scattaboo licking the bounty paper towel windows.
I can't believe that happened.
Ugh.
Hey, I kick it with Scatterboo for sure, though.
I know you would.
I kick it with him.
Go Cougs.
Listen.
He's a Coug if I've ever seen one.
He's a Sun Devil. That makes
I
sense.
know,
He's a Sun Devil.
yeah,
but like
they're the
Cougs
same
and Sun
thing.
Devils,
Cougs of
like
the South.
we get along.
Yeah.
We get along.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the Giants to be good. Clip this, Cash.
No, don't, Cash.
I agree with
No.
you. Bob. I really
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Because I'm going to be like, I never said that.
And we play the Giants on my birthday too. Watch it be just a massive game.
First of all,
He's going to be
it's Jalen
doing
Milroe's
Giants
birthday.
pregame radio.
Don't make it about you, Bob. It's Jalen Milroe's birthday.
Jalen Milroe, my bad, and Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift.
And Jamie Foxx.
See, leave it alone.
All right, my bad.
You know what I mean?
It's not about me.
It's not about
you.
you.
Know what? I can do that. I can release the attention and give it to others. I got it. It's not about me.
Oh, but I can't.
It's never about me.
But I can't.
I mean, it's still Matt Nelson's birthday.
On this, my birthday month, you're telling me I can't?
Matt's birthday's today?
No. It's been his birthday. He was
his
the
birthday's
first.
done. His birthday's done.
His birthday was
over.
on the first.
We're over
Okay.
it. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Taking a look around the NFL next.
Big time swings.
Here's the offer to Randy. Swung on. Drill.
In big time moments.
Goodbye, Randy Arozarena. Big win yesterday.
They've kind of withstood some body blows.
Now, the Mariners hit the road for 3 in KC before a 3-game battle for first place in the West against the A's in Sacramento. Mariners Royals this afternoon. First pitch at 4:40. Pregame at 3:30.
Happy flight to Kansas City.
Hear every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
What's up, it's Bump, letting you know we got some big events coming up at Silver Reef. We got Crazy Train, an Aussie tribute to the Prince of Darkness, headlines Saturday, July 25th. Also, Howie Mandel, a famous comedian, returns to Silver Reef on Friday, October 9th. Tickets sold out fast last time. Make sure you get your tickets before they sell out again. But you don't have to wait until July or October to check out Silver Reef Casino Resort. Book a tea time at Loomis Trails and spend the weekend up there. The course is in great shape. Relax in deluxe rooms and enjoy a meal at the steakhouse. You can watch a game and have some fun at their sports restaurant and enjoy the Cantina, authentic Mexican restaurant. I love the burritos. Plenty of reasons to go up there, and I haven't even mentioned the spa yet. Book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. I love it there. It's an easy drive up I-5, and it has some cheap gas as well, so your pockets will not be mad at you. Visit silverreefcasino.com. That's silverreefcasino.com.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? Hey, Brock Heward here. And working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here. So go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info.
Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now I really love working with, Harley Exteriors. You can expect a no-pressure consultation. They're great people to work with, and their windows are beautiful. I recently met with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with. And now Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. Right now, get $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio or entry door, 12-month or 18-month no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. If that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Mariners and Royals today in KC. First pitch 4:40, 3:40 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on brakes?
We mark Duralast brake pads down to free.
Free Duralast brake pads?
When you buy 2 rotors.
Can I get Duralast Gold pads for free?
With 2 Duralast Gold rotors, and there's a lifetime warranty on brake pads.
That's a huge markdown for so many miles.
Save on brakes and more during Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
In 2 seconds, I'll tell you why some Bears fans are starting to panic. But I'm sorry, Cash, who's on the board in place of Matt today. You are with Bump, both of you, for some reason, massive Giants fans. I can't believe it. You think the Giants are going to have how many wins this year?
Okay. All right. 10 to 11.
No.
Okay. No,
Can't back down for the tape.
I'll stick
Your
with
heart's
it.
not in it.
I'll stick with it. 11. I'd say 11 plus. I think he's right. They have a ridiculous defense, personnel-wise, and I think Harbaugh is going to do a really good job of putting them together. And with Dart, I mean, if he stays healthy, obviously you got some question marks, but hey, all I'll say, we thought that the Seahawks were a couple years away too, and we were wrong.
Okay.
So,
Fair, but however, while the Giants are playing the AFC South, great for them. The NFC West, you're telling me that near the end, Bump thinks the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. So at the end of the season, the Giants are facing the Seahawks, Browns, Lions, Cowboys, and Eagles. That's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy, but also you're playing the Cardinals, so that there's a free win for you. And then they'll also be playing. I mean, I don't think the Niners are going to be that good this year either, personally. But
how many wins do you think the Niners are going to get?
Maybe 8 or 9. I don't know.
Okay, so it comes at the expense of the 49ers, that the Giants would be a playoff team at the expense of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that.
Let's jump to our first story here with the Bears. They're in an ongoing battle with the city of Chicago over a new stadium. We already knew that was the case. But yesterday they released a statement saying they are no longer considering sites within Chicago city limits. They said that they have exhausted every opportunity to stay in Chicago, which was our initial goal. There is not a viable site in the city. As a result, the only sites under consideration are in Arlington Heights and Hammond, Illinois. Indiana, just kidding. Sorry.
There's a Hammond, Illinois, and a Hammond, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
That's just weird. I understand not being in the city,
not being
but
in
the state. That's we call that fraud.
This is one thing I don't understand, never having lived or clearly grown up on the East Coast. Some of these major cities between states are close. Portland's 4 hours away. Portland, if you were like, oh, I'm headed to Portland, it's like on a day trip. What are you doing? But sometimes on the East Coast or even places like north of the Midwest, it's closer. Would a stadium in Indiana be a massive drive for Bears fans in Chicago?
I believe it's only like a 30-minute drive from Chicago. So
respectfully,
it's a suburb basically of Chicago.
Can I say something respectfully? Bears fans, what are we Not what are we complaining about? I get it. It's out of the state.
Hey,
It's
state
very
pride.
weird. It's state pride.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
They've
but
been Chicago, like, in the heart of the city.
we're
for
talking
years.
about a stadium in Tacoma versus Seattle. That is annoying. That's annoying if you live in Seattle.
It's not the same.
But
same state.
it is objectively less weird than the Seahawks playing 4 hours outside of the city.
Well, it was weird being in the Bay Area for the Super Bowl. Every Super Bowl branding was saying San Francisco, and
Yeah.
we were nowhere close to the
Not at all.
location of the game.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. You're right. It is weird being in a different state. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong there, and Bears fans, don't be mad at me. It's just when this story was going down, like for months, we've been talking about it. I thought that these locations were so much further away.
They're nearby, yeah.
They're close.
Okay.
State lines, though, man.
I know it's weird. It is really weird. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
It'd be like
And-
if the Portland Trailblazers moved to Vancouver.
And that's super weird. And look, you'll never catch me defending billionaire owners complaining about not having locations for stadiums. Yes, you do. You just don't want to spend money. So I'll stop there. Let's talk about your guys' Giants. Malik Neighbors is still working his way back from a torn ACL, but seems to be having complications with his rehab. Is Cash still feeling confident about that 11-win prediction? This is ESPN's Adam Schefter on his status for the start of the season.
We'll start off with the fact that he's in the building, he's working hard, he's rehabbing, he's trying to get back as soon as he can. But saying all that, I just don't like the way that any of this sounds, right? There's a second knee surgery. There's some scar tissue and stiffness that they need to address. It's a complicated procedure. They don't know if he'll be ready for opening day. It certainly sounds like, at the very least, opening night against the Dallas Cowboys at home is in jeopardy. And it almost feels like, at this point in time, that it would be more unlikely that he would play in that game than it is likely.
Yeah, he's not playing in that game. This doesn't sound good. Malik went down relatively early, right?
I don't remember. I think it was
Dude.
early, though.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna
search
Can I
Mil-
retract the 11 win?
No, you can't. No, this is your mountain now.
I'll
You
go
have
with
to
10.
die on it. He was placed on IR after tearing his ACL in week 4.
Dang.
I need to know more. I don't need to know. That's not my business. But this does not sound good.
No, it doesn't sound good. But they picked up Mooney.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Someone, speaking of the Bears, they said, how is it different than the Giants playing in New Jersey and Jets?
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
You know, only one team plays in New York?
Who that? The Knicks?
No, one NFL team plays in New York.
My team?
No.
One NFL team.
One
Why am I-
NFL team plays in New York.
Why am I blanking?
Don't give him hints.
Oh, Buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get him. Why you trying to embarrass me right now?
I'm bossy.
Huh? Trying to
Does
embarrass me in front of
anyone
my
doubt
friends.
whether I used to make believe that I was a substitute teacher when I was younger. No clues.
She said, nope.
Nope. Mouth shut? Okay. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. The Cowboys notoriously keep their curtains open at AT&T Stadium, but that won't be an issue at next month's World Cup matches in Dallas. This from Mike Florio.
You also want to have guys able to catch passes without the sun in their eyes, and Jerry Jones has been very stubborn about not closing the curtains during those late afternoon games in October, November, where it's a great shot. There are so many great photos out there of the sun. It's like God is bestowing his blessings upon Jerry Jones and all who serve him. Who cares if it keeps your receiver like CeeDee Lamb from making a catch? And CeeDee Lamb complained about it, and Jerry didn't like that. Jerry went off. This was 2024. Well, you know what? FIFA wants the curtains shut, Chris. They're shutting the curtains for FIFA.
FIFA said, Jerry.
Come on now. Come on,
We're
Jerry.
both rich. We're both corrupt.
It's not, I don't know. I get why Jerry wants them open. It just looks great.
It does.
But if it's hurting your own product on the football field, why wouldn't you adjust?
I don't know. And then Jerry, I don't know why we keep losing. The Titans will face Robert Saleh's old team, the Jets, in Week 1. Saleh was asked about the noteworthy season opener.
You know, I've said it before. I'm appreciative for the Jets and everything that I had. It's been over a year and a half now. It's in the NFL. It's kind of like 10 years, but you know, it's to be expected with the NFL. But didn't think anything of it.
He's got the deepest voice.
Yeah, super deep.
Honestly, like I wanted to listen to what he was saying, and I'm sure it was important, but I was immediately like, whoa. What are your expectations? You've talked about the Jets. What are your expectations for the Titans this year?
I don't know.
You like Cam Ward a lot.
I do. I read something earlier today that he's lost 10 pounds, so he's feeling good about himself. They drafted Cardinal Tate, gave him a weapon, a receiver out of Ohio. Keldrick Falk, edge out of Auburn. I mean, they're a work in progress. I don't feel the same way about them as I do about the Giants.
You didn't love the Giants until today. I swear.
Hey, I've respected them.
Yeah.
But because you don't think it's going to happen, I'm going to lean into it even more.
Don't you think you're kind of going to have to choose between the Jets and the Giants?
No. I have a team. I'm just going to follow those other two teams and see what happens.
Your heart's going to be so conflicted when they play each other. Clint Kubiak sounds like a guy who's enjoying having a tight end like Brock Bowers to throw to.
Yeah, he's kind of a football robot in a good way. He's a football robot from heaven. You know, he's a Cadillac out there. We got to get the most out of Brock. You know, wherever he goes, he's been successful in college and high school, whoever's coached him. You know, just can't say enough great things about him. Love his work ethic. He is a standard bearer.
What a description, a football robot from heaven. Quite a weapon there, obviously, for him to use. Brock Bowers just needs a better quarterback, man.
Well, he's got one, hopefully.
Yeah. Jordan Rodriguez talked about being more optimistic, like you, about Geno potentially with the Jets because of Kenyon Sadiq there. And she was saying when Brock Bowers was healthy, that was actually a pretty effective-ish pairing compared to everything else that was wrong with Vegas, that Brock Bowers was a pretty effective target. It's just wasn't healthy.
Vegas is on a 2 to 3 year plan. You know, they got some work to do over there. See if Kirk Cousins starts, but eventually we'll see Mendoza. Bowers is top 4 tight end in the game, though.
Talking Mariners with Mike Vorel, not Mike Vrabel, coming up at 1 p.m. Before we get to that, we just had Buster Olney from ESPN on the show, and he said something that was sticking with us. That's next.
Big time swings.
Here's the offer to Randy. Swung on. Trill.
And big time moments.
Goodbye, Randy Arozarena. Big win yesterday.
They've kind of withstood some body blows.
Now, the Mariners hit the road for 3 in KC before a 3-game battle for first place in the West against the A's in Sacramento. Mariners, Royals this afternoon. First pitch at 4:40. Pregame at 3:30.
A happy flight to Kansas City.
Hear every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times from our sports teams in town. Talent acquisition, we need it. I'm guessing at IRG, talent acquisition is also key for you?
Absolutely, Brock. Talent acquisition is everything. You know, our strength here at IRG is what I call our human capital. These are the folks that work here at IRG with a passion, with a focus on building great teams, providing great care, and being involved in the community. We want the best and brightest. And if you're looking for an opportunity to be the best and brightest, IRG is the place for you. We will provide mentorship, continuing education, personal and professional growth. We have it all for you. We want the best and brightest.
If you want to be a part of that team, all you got to do is go visit one of their 40 convenient locations. IRG is in your neighborhood. All the details as well, you can find them at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
There's not one car deal that is worth ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Visit America's Car Museum now, where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org.
The warm weather has me thinking about summer plans. Stacy here to add one thing to the top of your list. Book a demo and check out the brand new all-electric wake boat from ARC. I got a ride in a brand new ARC Sport, and it was like a luxury EV on the water. Quiet, powerful, easy to operate, and low maintenance. They're doing demos in Lake Union, Lake Washington, and Lake Sammamish. Honestly, if I could drive one of these to work, I would. Schedule your demo at arcboats.com/demo. If you can't make it out to Kirkland, they'll pick you up. arcboats.com/demo.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
Get your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car today.
Shopping for a new Mazda? Shop the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, Mazda of Everett. With more new Mazdas in stock than any dealer in the region. Shop over 780 new Mazdas. Click on the Mazda of Everett price. At Mazda of Everett, exceptional customer satisfaction is the standard. Plus, at Mazda of Everett, you negotiate directly with the owner. Locally owned, trusted by thousands. Shop MazdaofEverett.com and see why we're number one.
Mariners and Royals today in KC. First pitch 4:40, 3:40 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Washington is helping men take control of their health with a free, comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value included when starting treatment. Your panel checks key health markers, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidneys, liver, and thyroid, so you can finally understand what your body's been trying to tell you. Since 2011, over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Get answers, get a plan, and start feeling better. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free, comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, Seattle Times columnist Mike Vorel is trying to make sense of the Mariners. Before we get to that, we had Buster Olney from ESPN on with us earlier, and Bump asked him about the Mariners' biggest needs at the deadline when that comes around.
Well, I think every team has its holes, right, that develop during the course of the year. I think what's interesting about where the Mariners sit today is we don't totally know where that's going to be. They've been terrible against left-handed pitching. And, you know, they signed Rob Refsnyder, who's a great teammate. He's a great veteran. I know he talked with the Yankees people, and they wonder why the Red Sox ever let him get away. But to this point, you know, that hasn't paid off. You know, will there be a time when, you know, that hole will be filled by Rob? You know, or as they get Victor Robles back now off the injured list, will they start to perform better? When Cal comes back, will he be better? I think that when we look at them, and Cade Anderson, you know, what role is he going to play when he inevitably gets called up to the big leagues? Will he become like that, you know, the 2-month bullpen phenom who becomes a shutdown guy for the postseason? I think we just don't know quite yet exactly what the Mariners' need is going to be.
Okay, totally fair answer. We don't know quite yet. But pay attention to the first part of that. He says two things. One is true, and one's just really interesting. One, the Mariners are struggling against lefties, and it's pretty ugly. I mean, you guys know, when you see the lefty lineup, you're like, oh, here we go. Lefty on the mound? Uh-oh. What's going to happen here? When managers put a lefty out of their pen and kind of force Seattle's hand, you're like, here we go. What's going to happen? That's a fact. That's just something that's not good. The interesting thing, Bump, that was sticking with me is what he had to say about Ref Snyder, where he's not totally punting on it yet. And he goes, man, I know people with the Yankees who are saying, like that guy was really good. He was hitting 267 against lefties in his career.
Last year, he was hitting 302 against lefties.
302.
On base, 399, slugging 560, OPS 959, 7 bombs, 25 RBIs. That's why Dan is sticking with him. But how long do we do this? How long do we have this Ref Schneider experiment going?
I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I think you talked yourself out of your initial take.
I did, because I don't have a spine. I started earlier when we were talking about our biggest questions. I said, Ref Snyder's hitting 096 against lefties right now. Luke Raley is not good against lefties. Could he get more opportunities? Sure, definitely, and maybe he becomes better. But as in his career, he's hitting 167 against lefties. I wasn't, in theory, angry at the idea of, pinch hitting Luke once in a while. Luke also, when I was fine with that idea, didn't have 10 home runs leading the club. Anyways, Luke right now is not worse against lefties than Ref Snyder right now. And all you're doing when you pinch hit is taking Luke out for opportunities that you're going to get against righty bullpen arms later in the games. And so that was my take. And then when I heard Buster say, this guy's really good, like Yankees couldn't believe that Boston let him walk, I'm like, well, what if he becomes good? I don't know. And then I started. So as you know, I started questioning myself because I get so frustrated, and I'm like, there's a time when you just got to give it up, man. There's a time when you are a third of the way into the season and you go, this experiment isn't working, I have to let it go. Then there's this little voice that I kind of understand. What if it works? What if it ends up being okay? Luke isn't going to start hitting 302 against lefties.
No. I haven't been fully convinced, but I'm intrigued.
That's what happened.
I'm intrigued. I'm like, we knew he was brought over here to hit lefties. I looked at his career against lefties. I'm like, all right, the last year numbers is what kind of made me like, oh, okay, let's see. But there have been so many times this year where he just hasn't come through to where I'm just thinking, all right, let's try something else. Let's give Luke a go. And the crazy part about that is that if you do give Luke a go, it's not like a one-game thing. You got to give him like several opportunities against the lefties to get it going. You don't give him one game and say, oh, didn't work out, let's move on.
Well, and to me, it's not even getting him going. It's just like, it is what it is. Maybe he'll draw a walk. Maybe it'll be whatever. But, like, we won't lose him at the very least. But I don't know. I will tell you, and I, without looking at the text line, know this. I'd bet 100% of the text line is ready to stop the Ref Snyder experiment and to just say, look, it's not working. I don't care if he had 302 last year. I don't care if he's 260-something over his career against lefties. It's not working this year, and all you're doing is having your hand forced and putting a less effective bat in your lineup for the rest of the game. I know for a fact there are people yelling that at their radio right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't know that I was one of them. And then I became too easily convinced, Bump. That's my problem. Yeah. Is I just started going, well, Buster thought so.
Well, you did. Buster called Colt Emerson being pulled up, so I guess he's right here.
Okay, I will say this. Buster's right in that whether or not it's Ref Snyder, they will need an answer.
Yeah, you do. You have to be better against these lefties. I mean, you said it to start the segment. You're a little nervous when you see LHP on the on the lineup or in the lineup. So I'm just up for trying new things, right? Trying something different.
Yeah.
You make the tough decision to go piggyback with Castillo. All right. Why not try something else in this lineup? But listen, you baseball nerds, you tell me what you would do.
Well, we have one, Curtis. Would you eventually would you stop pinch hitting with Ref Snyder right now against lefties? He's hitting 096. Last year was 302.
Yeah, I think you are definitely helped out in having Victor Robles back, starting with this series, a right-handed bat, who a couple of years ago had a really good season for the Mariners. Last year was injured for nearly the entirety of the season, so couldn't get quite a good read on it. But having Robles back in your lineup, or at least on your bench, gives you another right-handed bat option. And look, the Mariners are going to be put to the test today because Noah Cameron, Royals starter.
No, don't do it. Don't tell us.
He's left-handed.
Oh, God. You
So-
Southpaws. I'm so
I
sick
know.
of it.
You can't get rid of us. We're always popping up everywhere. But yeah, we're gonna see what the Mariners do with that lineup today. I really don't want to see Ref Snyder batting leadoff. That would be.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that at all. Like, you can have him in your lineup if that's what you feel like is the best matchup for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him anywhere near the first, third. Heck, I'd put him like 7th or 8th in the lineup at this point, maybe even 9th.
Let's ask Mike Vorel some of these questions. He joins us next.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Oh, man, the ups and downs of any baseball season are obviously incredible, but this one feels like it's got a lot of ups and downs.
Beyond the expectations, why does this feel so volatile? Is there's kind of like real life stuff off the field, the real life injury stuff.
I think it's being close. I think it's feeling like that goal is right in front of you. You got to the ALCS last year. You are so close.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Coming to Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, June 18th, it's Jim Jeffries.
If you see like an old couple and you go, how long have you two been married for? And they go, 45 years. And then I always ask, what's your secret? The man goes like this, she's always right. And then you see him go dead behind the eyes.
Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Global comedy heavyweight, Jim Jeffries, June 18th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help, call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Do you have a car, truck, or SUV you're willing to sell? How about an RV or commercial vehicle? Wayscar Ford in Auburn will buy it from you. And when they resell your old vehicle, they'll split the profit with you 50-50. That's right. You'll get paid twice. I'm here with Mark Clymer of Wayscar Ford. Mark, I'm not surprised your vehicle profit sharing program's doing well. It's a fantastic offer.
It sure is, Stacy. We've been buying a lot of cars off this thanks to your advertising. And I got to tell you, customers are loving it. They're getting top dollar for their vehicle up front. They're getting paid right now. And the best part is when we resell that vehicle, they're getting 50% of the profit. A lot of people have vehicles right now that are sitting around and they're worth a lot of money and they're saying, you know, what the heck? I want to sell it. I don't want to deal with it myself, but I don't want to give it away either. This is the perfect opportunity for them to get the most they can for the car without having to go through the hassle of selling it themselves.
Exclusively at Wayscar Ford, celebrating 104 years in Auburn. WayscarFord.com. That's WayscarFord.com.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grows fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer, food in your cart, and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back in action today, this time on the road, opening a series against the Royals. First pitch is at 4:40 p.m., pregame show at 3:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Speaking of the Mariners, a roster move this morning. Victor Robles has been reinstated from the 10-day IL. Connor Joe has been optioned to AAA Tacoma in a corresponding move.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seattle Times columnist Mike Vorel joining us right now. Mike, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We spent most of our day earlier trying to kind of make sense of the Mariners, which you also tried to do in your latest for the Seattle Times. And there was some good news and bad news within that. I'm sure you didn't stumble across anything you didn't know about this team, but what did you kind of settle on as where you stand right now with them?
Yeah, I feel like there's two, like trying to think from a fan's perspective, there's two dominant feelings that are valid, and I think they can coexist, which is kind of a strange thing. And number one is that it's totally understandable and valid to be frustrated by this team, especially when you have the weight of expectation, the weight of recent history, knowing that the expectations aren't what they always have been. When you see playoff baseball in Seattle, when you know what this group is capable of, where they have been, all of that seasoning, and then you come into a year, and even before it starts, you've got the World Baseball Classic stuff, and then it's just a team that has had injuries, obviously, but is just not very good defensively, not very clean, struggled to hit with runners in scoring position, just a whole bunch of things that are irksome and just no consistency. I mean, this has been a team that just is kind of allergic to momentum in so many ways, has never won more than 4 games in a row, has only won back-to-back series once. Every time they have a big win, it seems like they have a heartbreaking loss the next night. So it's just one of those situations where I think for fans, it's frustrating to hear, oh, it's early over and over again. Oh, it's a long season when, these things are real and the concerns are justified. But at the same time, what I also tried to balance it with is the knowledge that, yeah, all of this has gone wrong for this team and they are kind of maddening to watch and all of that is true. But you're also in an AL West that is atrocious and that hasn't run away from anyone. And when you look at that group, I don't think you're scared of the A's, obviously. I don't think you all of a sudden think that Houston's a sleeping giant that's going to figure it out at some point. Texas, has been pretty thoroughly mediocre, and it's just not a division that has scared you or will scare you. So I think it's the dueling ideas of they're frustrating, they're incomplete, they're flawed, but it's okay. And, big picture 4 months from now, it might not actually matter.
What changes would you make with this team? What adjustments would you make? I mean, we talk about Dan and how he can affect the game. I'm just wondering if you were the skip, what moves are you making?
Well, I think there's a couple obvious ones that I'm sure you guys probably spent the last couple hours talking about. And, in terms of the piggyback situation, it's one of those things where I think we all kind of know that it's not a viable long-term solution. And when you've got these situations that are kind of awkward and uncomfortable and prolonged, I think we all sort of know at this point that Luis Castillo probably has to go in the bullpen at some point here. And it's a really hard conversation to have with a veteran and a guy who's been the rock for so long and has never started or has never been in the bullpen besides one game last week. But you're just not going to sit in this situation forever. And I think it's something where he maybe could give you a lot of value there. And of course, it doesn't have to be permanent either. When, it's a long season and guys get injured and things always happen. I mean, he certainly could go back into the rotation. But as it stands right now, I think that's kind of the thing that no one really wants to decide on, no one really wants to say, but everyone sort of probably understands that you can't go on with 6 guys forever. And then you look at the platoon situation as well, and with Rob Refsnyder and how much he's struggled, and you've got Brennan Davis, who's just continuing to mash in Tacoma. That's probably a decision that's got to be made at some point here. And I know that too. That money and you're admitting mistakes and none of that is easy, but some of those, maybe they're not solutions, but something has to be done at a certain point. I think some of those things are going to have to be addressed here in the next couple of weeks.
Completely understandable if you don't have an answer to this question, because Dan is infamously tight-lipped with information. But do you know how much of kind of the platoon decisions, the bullpen decisions, the stuff that gets Twitter in a fit during games is just Dan, and how much is an organizational thing? Do you know kind of what the balance might be?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I know those things for sure, but I have a pretty strong feeling that it isn't just Dan saying, okay, all these things are organizational decisions, and Jerry and Justin have a lot of say in that, and there's the investment aspect. You've got the weight of circumstances here, where that's a guy in Castillo who's also making a lot of money and will make a lot of money next season and has an option for the following season that is kind of contingent on an innings limit situation. So it's the same thing with Refsnyder and understanding the investment, who has always hit lefties and he has a big sample size across his career. So, I'm not saying that those are, whether it's Dan or anyone, higher up. But I do think when it's about winning games at a certain point, you have to look at it and difficult decisions have to be made all throughout a 6-month season. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go in the next couple of weeks.
What's been the biggest surprise for you this season, positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise has probably been Cal. And I think, that's probably an obvious homers. It's not to say that there's not reasons for that. Obviously there's a lot that could be said about the WBC situation and not having quite those reps and then coming in without your timing and then all of a sudden injuring your oblique and trying to overcompensate in other areas, and whether that affected, how he swings or swing decisions or bat speed, and struggling to hit fastballs, which has never been a thing for him. Last year, one of the big things with him, there was this massive breakthrough, was his ability to mash from the right side, which was always a struggle for him before, and he hasn't been able to do that this year, even before obviously going on the IL. So, there's a bunch of surprises. There's positive surprises too in terms of what Cole Young has done, and you didn't quite know what you're getting with the Jose Ferrer, and he's come in and has been a guy who looks like he can be a leverage arm and could, close games when you need him to. But I think with Cal, you're looking at this lineup and you're saying, okay, we have the most complete lineup we've had in years, but it's all contingent on feeling like you have an all-star home run hitting slugger in the middle of that lineup in the second spot there that you can depend on, that is sort of your guy to move things along, especially when Julio hasn't always been that guy early in seasons. And when you don't have that, and Naylor's also struggling, and it's just kind of hard early on, all of a sudden it gets much more difficult to pile up runs. So, like we said before, there isn't a panic button because, it's a long season and the division isn't great. And if Cal comes back and is healthy and starts to produce, then all of a sudden you have that lineup. But for now, it's just not the lineup that we thought it was going to be.
Well, speaking of, one of the most popular questions that Bump and I have been getting, and sometimes it's just in the form of an opinion from a fan that's understandably frustrated, is what if this team isn't actually as good? Like the idea that last year's team maybe overperformed, that this year's team is flawed because the idea that they could be a World Series favorite was just misplaced. Bump and I have answered with kind of our thoughts of that, but I wanted to throw you that question. Do you think that this team was maybe too heavily favored or overrated heading into the season?
I don't think I would say that they were overrated necessarily, because it's all a matter of perception and a matter of comparison, where it's like, I think it's easy to forget that this time, or in spring training a year ago, there was no expectations for that team. There was, they hadn't made the playoffs 2 straight years, and fans were righteously angry. You were going into that season with Donovan Solano, and, that was supposed to be one of your big signings, and you really didn't fill any of your holes, and you had all these question marks. And this year they did the opposite, where they did sign Josh Naylor again, and they did bring in Brendan Donovan to kind of fill in a bunch of those places. They did trade for Jose Ferrer to try to address their issues in the bullpen and bring in another lefty. So it was the first time where there was kind of this refreshing feeling, at least recently, where they actually did address a lot of perceived holes in the offseason, not at the trade deadline. So I think the optimism is fair and was understandable, was warranted, especially when you come off having the kind of playoff experience you did last year. And I think, this team has struggled in a lot of obvious ways. I don't think we thought they'd be as bad as they've been defensively, and that's been surprising. And all of a sudden, Andres Munoz, isn't producing in quite the same way, and that's been surprising, and there's been a number of those surprises. But with that said, I think it's so easy in this game, in the social media age, to have these snap opinions or feelings or emotions. I do too, every day, where you lose. They've lost so many games in absolutely gut-wrenching manner this season, and it's easy after each one of them to say, this team doesn't have it. But then again, there's 4 more months, and I feel like how you feel in September is often so utterly unrelated to how you feel in May. So it's a process, it's a marathon, and, the AL isn't running away. Largely, not just the AL West, the AL at large isn't running away from anyone, and I just don't think there's that many teams for them to be scared of. So this is still a team that could fulfill all of those things. It just hasn't looked that way to this point.
Hey, we spoke to Buster Olney earlier today, and he mentioned how he admires what JP is trying to do, make that move to third base. He said, one of the worst things to deal with is an aging player, right? Because in their mind, they think they're still the same guy they were 5 or 6 years ago, and they're just not that. What do you think of JP and his agent approaching the team and asking if he can make a move to third?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible in this day and age. If you think about, how often that has happened, it's a business, like we say. And in the business, JP didn't necessarily make what you would classify as being the best business decision for him today in doing that. But I think he looked around the tenor of this locker room and he saw what Colt Emerson could be, and he saw the money that they gave him, and the writing is on the wall that Colt Emerson is going to be this franchise's shortstop for years to come. And probably there isn't a whole lot JP can do about that. And I think, having the willingness to say, I'm going to go outside of my comfort zone, I'm going to try to play third, that shows you, one, how much he cares about what this team is today and what this team is this season. And 2, it shows how much he cares about being a Mariner beyond this year, where I think a lot of us have assumed, understandably, that if JP is the shortstop now and Colt Emerson is the shortstop long-term, JP probably isn't on this roster a year from now. But JP Crawford wants to be a Mariner for life, and he said that in no uncertain terms. And the way to do that is to voluntarily become uncomfortable. So that's something that he's willing to do. It's not the norm in today's day and age. I think he deserves applause for that. Will it work? Will he fit there? I really have no idea. And if he does, kind of weird, does Brendan Donovan eventually fit back into the mix if Cole Young is continuing to rake? Those are all valid questions. But I think at the heart of it, just the willingness to put yourself in an uncomfortable position and sacrifice, after a decade of being a shortstop is something that is very team first and is worthy of that applause.
We knew, obviously, that we'd be getting you on at 1 to kind of talk about the good and bad of this team right now. So inspired by that, earlier in the show, Bump and I looked at a stat that concerned us about the team and then a stat that didn't. Mike, you had to comb through a ton of numbers for your column when it came to the Mariners to really highlight what's been most disappointing about this team. Was there anything, though, that you came across where you were like, this looks bad. We hear about this a lot, but, like, in my gut, I'm not worried about this. Like, that's not catching my eye. That's not the one I'm writing about here.
Yeah, I mean, some of those things I did include as being concerning, and I think that they are, but I also feel like, what I'm thinking about is the batting average with runners in scoring position, where they're hitting .215, which is 29th in baseball. And that is atrocious. And obviously, if you come through more in those moments, things look a lot different. And they have been very reliant on the home run, too, which is concerning. But I also think that so much of that is dependent on resources and who you have in your personnel. And you've got, Rob Refsnyder has been really struggling. And, they had up to this point Connor Joe in the lineup and Patrick Wisdom in the lineup and all of these guys that were not really meant to be core contributing Mariners that are thrust into those positions. And Johnny Pareda, obviously, even though he hit the big homer the other day, and Mitch Garver, and the list goes on. But you'd think, you get a healthy Cal Raleigh back, you get other guys back and into form. If, JP continues to find his form wherever that may be, you're going to hit more. It's sort of a natural state of things. And hopefully runners in scoring position, you'll deliver more, more consistently. So that's something where it is a concerning number today. I'm not convinced that it's going to be a concerning stat 2 months from now. It's one of those things where as Julio, continues to become second half Julio and he's at the best start of his career, all those things evolve. And I think that this is a team that should hit and can hit. And are they going to hit the way that people, expected or hoped that they would? We'll see. But I think as the weather heats up, the Mariners usually do.
Last question before we let you go. You mentioned so much of this relying on a healthy Cal coming back and performing. When does your gut tell you Cal might be coming back, and how long do you think they could get by without him?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough question because the oblique is sort of the great unknown, right? It's like you can have an oblique where you're out for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and you can have an oblique where Luke Raley said last year he was never right the entire season. And that was a little bit of a different situation, we hope, because when Luke Raley hurt that in BP, he kind of went down like he'd been, struck with a rock or something. And it was just, they all come in different forms. But, I would hope, obviously, they were going to kind of shut him down and then just reassess. And we haven't heard the result of that. So it's hard to gauge when he's going to be back in terms of a guess. I would think it'd be closer to sooner than later just because Cal is.
Yeah.
But I also think, like we said, where there is this parachute, there is this soft landing of it not being, a very difficult division and having time to make this up. I hope Cal doesn't feel like he has to rush back for this team. Like, coming back any earlier than absolutely feeling his best from a swing perspective and a health perspective. I hope he doesn't feel that that's critical to this team because they need him to be who he was last year or most of who he was last year. They don't need a fraction of Cal Raleigh. They need the full Cal Raleigh, and he needs to be healthy to do that. So yeah, I would caution him not to rush back. The Mariners in this division race is still going to be there when he gets here.
He is Mike Vorel. You can read his latest at the Seattle Times and seattletimes.com. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks, guys.
Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bump.
I don't know why I'm taking a shot with this first one. Why,
come on, let's go, Cash. Let's get her.
Why will the Giants be better than Stacy thinks?
This is why. I'll go first, and Cash, you can finish this thing off, okay?
Wow.
All right. This is why. Jackson Dart is dealing with a coach who understands how to coach a mobile quarterback.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson hardly got hit. Not big hits like that. Every now and then he got. But I think him having experience knowing how to communicate with a mobile quarterback is going to help him. Also, Malik Neighbors, all right, he's hurt. Complications. We'll see what happens. What do? You draft a Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, who I really like. Okay, and Darnell Mooney, he has a 1,000-yard season in him. A couple years ago, he just had 900 yards. He's going to be good to go. Scatterboo is the meathead you want on your team. Offensively, they're going to be fine. And Isaiah Likely has been held down by Mark Andrews in Baltimore for the last 4 or 5 seasons. He's ready to be the number one guy. Cash, you got it from here.
Yeah, I agree, especially on the Mooney front. I've always loved Darnell Mooney, and I think that when he was in Chicago, wasn't really in a great position. I'll never forget watching a highlight video of him running the craziest routes I've ever seen, and then the ball being 20 yards over his head because he just couldn't get a quarterback to throw it to him. And now you have Dart and Harbaugh. I just think Harbaugh's going to put this offense together in a really good way, and I love their pieces on defense. So I don't know.
Curtis, I'm sorry. Is there something you wanted to add to, or are you a normal person like me thinking that the Giants are probably a little overhyped because they're the New York Giants?
Brian Burns over their own defense. You just drafted Reese. Thibodeau is going to.
They just lost Roy Robertson Harris for the season.
Tap is fine. It's fine. We got bodies. We got bodies. Okay.
Seahawks legend Roy Robertson
is going to have a resurgence. He's rejuvenated. You got a new coach over there.
Okay.
They're going to win. My guy Cash says 11 games. I'll give him 9. 8 to 9.
You got to, if you
all right,
and
we'll meet in the
Cash-
middle.
Let's
meet in the middle with 10.
All right.
10 games.
Oh, my God.
These guys win.
Second down, Cavs, second down. Who do you think can be the 2025 New England Patriots this year?
Oh, you're not going to like this one either, huh, Stacey?
No. No, I'm not.
The Bengals.
Okay,
the Bengals.
I don't mind that.
All right, they're favored in 15 of their 17 games this year. They have the third or fourth easiest schedule. The main thing is Joe Burrow's happy, right? Remember we saw him pouting on the sideline. You know,
He
you
is
can't
down
you
bad.
can't be rich or pretty boy and be pouting. Life is too good for you, okay? On the sidelines, pouting about his team. I'm not having fun anymore. Okay, this ain't LSU. Okay, you can't buy your team like you used to back in the day. You kind of can in football, actually. But listen, Jamar Chase, Higgins, all that good stuff, but it's more about what they've done on defense. All right, Boye Mafe, Dexter Lawrence. I think that he said himself, this is the most talented team that they've had. You also get Brian Cook from the Chiefs, I believe. So I'm thinking the Bengals, man. You know what? This is the year of teams just rising out of the dust and
like a phoenix
and making themselves just relevant again. So Bengals going to be the Patriots this year.
Okay. Third down. What could be the worst thing to happen to the NFC West?
Too much talent over here. It's already. Did I just see news? I'm watching ESPN right now. Did this just go down?
What?
The worst thing that could happen is Stephon Diggs going to the Rams. And I'm looking at him on ESPN right now. I don't think he's mentioning anything. Okay. All right, anyway. But Diggs going to the Rams and Bosa going to the Niners. There's too much talent. This is the best division in football already, I
That
believe.
would have been crazy, Tommy.
That would have been crazy. I think the NFC North is going to be really good as well. But the West is it. So you don't want to see this talent keep coming over here. It's already hard enough out West. We don't need talent to keep coming over here, but it makes complete sense for the Rams to be interested in Diggs. Imagine Diggs, Adams, and a healthy, focused Puka on the field at one time. Trouble.
And to Curtis's point, you know what can really help Puka Nacua get focused?
Stephon Diggs.
Adding Stephon Diggs to your wide receiver room.
Diggs.
Noted veteran leader.
I hear he's a good guy in the locker room. Here's a good guy. This off the field stuff.
In the locker room, sure.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, probably not.
They just can't hang out. They can't hang out.
Okay. Fourth down.
Puka was just in rehab.
I feel like this is getting glossed over right now.
Stephon Diggs, around this time last year, we were talking about a pink substance he was seen with
I
on a
forgot
boat.
about that. Fourth down, cotton candy. What
Himalayan
veteran
sea
needs to have a
salt.
good season for the Seahawks?
Nwosu, man, I want to see him back to how he was his first year here. Didn't have a bad year last year. Ended the year on a bang. Scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. But I think that with the departure of Boye, you still got Dante Fowler too. Like those two veterans need to have good seasons, man, because I feel like the interior defensive line is going to be straight, ready to go. Second level, we'll see what happens there with Drake Thomas, Kenny coming to the season. And it's different when you're a starter, right? You're coming into the season, high expectations and whatnot. But I'm looking at the veterans, Chinonwosu and Dante Fowler. If they have good seasons, if I can get 8 or 9 sacks out of Uchenna, if I can get 4 or 5 out of Fowler, I think this team defensively can pick up where they left off.
You got too many people that are trying to also convince me and Curtis
I'm
that
saying.
the Giants are going to be great.
I'm saying.
I think that you guys will be wrong. I think that you're going to see the 2023 Bears where it's like, I get why you guys are interested in the Giants, but I think that being a
2023
massive
Bears. Who's gassing them up? You mean 24?
24, excuse me. Thank
Okay.
you. But where they were just a year too early in that prediction because things hadn't quite fallen into place. Now I know that version of the Bears didn't have the head coach in place, which is pretty massive, whereas this version of the Giants probably has the right head coach in place. I get that there's a pretty big difference there, but the leap that people are making between they were completely out of the playoffs last year to they're going to potentially win the NFC East. Maybe I'll be wrong.
Yeah, well, they were also so injured last year. I mean,
Cash said, I've got more.
But also, yeah, I don't know. Last year though was kind of proved last year with how many teams with first-year head coaches went to the playoffs and did really, really well. I just feel like it's a big piece. So I feel like Harbaugh's gonna. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna get it done.
He's gonna do that thing.
Quickly before we get to break, Mariners lineup is out for
thank
today.
you, Curtis.
So you know how earlier in the show I said I don't want to see Rob Refsnyder batting leadoff.
Don't.
I got great news. He is not batting leadoff.
Okay.
He's batting cleanup. So stupid. What are we doing?
What I need to know. Get your questions in 866-979-3776. What's sticking with us coming up next?
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
To see Colt Emerson. In 2 games, he's looked awesome.
In that moment, it's like we saw what Colt Emerson can be. You're talking about a franchise-type player there. Yeah. When you have one already in center field and when you have one already behind the plate, that's when great teams are built.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
I've been talking about my experience being on the Arc Sport, which is a fully electric wake boat, for about a month and a half now. I had a ton of fun trying it out on the water on a beautiful sunny day. It's truly unlike any boat I've ever seen or been on, but instead of just answering questions about it and talking about it, I think what I'm going to do instead is let people know that you can actually try it out for yourself. And it's super easy and free. Go to arcboats.com/demo. That's arcboats.com/demo. Fill out the form and get out on the water. Again, I can talk about the features all day, but you can also see them. Heated seats and seat backs, a retractable tower, touchscreen dash, incredibly low maintenance because it's electric. You really do have to see and experience it for yourself, and you can book a demo. It's free. It's easy. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo, fill out the form, and get out on the water. Arc, you have to see it to believe it.
The Johnsons always talk about an orientation meeting. Their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Rev up family fun this month at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Bring the kids for hands-on learning and creativity at Family Steam Day. Design, build, tinker, and learn together as automobiles come to life in the Education Studio and Family Zone. Visitors under the age of 18 receive free admission on Family Steam Days. For dates, times, and details on these and many more events, visit americascarmuseum.org. That's americascarmuseum.org.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Woodworker, check. Metalworker or material handler, check. Equipment Sales and Surplus in Auburn offers competitive pricing on leading brands like Jet, Powermatic, Wilton, Bailey, and others. Whether you're a hobbyist or a fabrication shop needing metal forming machines, they have hundreds of machines and accessories. The only dealer offering scratch and dent and discounted items. Check them out in Auburn. EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com. Your go-to for woodworking, metalworking, or material handling. That's EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at Xfinity. Let's say you got a gamer down in the basement, like Titus playing his video games. Maybe a streamer watching shows in the living room like my daughters. A Zoom call for me in the kitchen, and every single one of them is asking you the same question. Why is the Wi-Fi so slow? Well, now imagine Wi-Fi so intelligent it actually heals itself when there's a problem. Wi-Fi that reaches every corner of your home and makes everything in it work together. Imagine fiber-powered reliability. We're talking 99.999%. Imagine Wi-Fi built for speed with everything included, your data, your equipment, the most reliable Wi-Fi, all in one price. And that price, you can lock it in for 5 years. Same price, no contracts, no commitments, and no surprises. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. 5 years of predictability on the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi with our very best equipment. Imagine that. Some restrictions apply. Select plans only. 1-800-XFI and ITY.
Mariners and Royals today in KC. First pitch 4:40, 3:40 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic Collector Car, Truck, and Boat Auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Events Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports at 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, answering your questions, any question for what I need to know. So get that sent in now on the text line, 866-979-3776. Any question, sports, non-sports, doesn't matter. Just something top of mind after a week of shows. And speaking of a week of shows, we got a couple interviews and moments and quotes that are sticking with us on this Friday. I wanted to start with J.P. Crawford. The news was obviously that he's open to turning to third base. Here's what he said about it.
Me and my agent talked about it. We had a good conversation and seen a lot more positive thoughts about it. So, why not give it a try, give it a thought.
A bit more in his thought process.
Just came up and a thought in my head and, I want to be an earner for life, and I think that's the best way to do it. And, just always being open to helping the team win.
Bump, normally this segment is like, oh, Buster said something really cool. I've been thinking about it a lot. This was just news. JP talks for 8 seconds, but it is sticking with me almost more than anything else this week.
It's willing to sacrifice. And most people we've spoken to, baseball experts, say that this is really messing up his value, right? Shortstops are worth more than third baseman. So that lets you know how much he wants to be in this organization. It's like accepting your reality. I had to accept my reality my first year with the Hawks, right?
Why are you already laughing?
It was funny because I was mad, and I was like, all right, this is what I got to do, this is what I got to do. There was like 2 weeks where every play I was in with the ones was a run play. Every play. I'm like, come on, man, let me get some shine. And then you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the best run blocker that ever stepped foot on the field. And you just accept it. His, not as dramatic, but he's accepting what the future looks like with this team, with Colt Emerson, and he wants to be around that bad. That tells you just how much he loves the city, loves the organization. So that's a big move for him.
Do you think there's also something that makes it easier and less uncomfortable for Colt? Because if you're Colt Emerson, you're brand new to this clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you're a good player. You're confident in yourself. You were the number one prospect for this team. But you also, I would imagine, don't love stepping on toes. I think athletes in general, you can compartmentalize things, not think about it. But, it probably is kind of uncomfortable. But This is JP going, nah, man, I know you're going here.
I think that Colt Emerson respects JP and knows what he's meant to this organization, but at the same time, he's a dog and he wants to play, and he wants to play in his spot. Remember, we were talking to Ryan yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how in that picture room, it has to be some type of tension, not even tension, but it's just kind of weird between Castile and Miller because they're piggybacking, and Castile's like, this is my spot. Miller's like, no, I want this spot, but there's still respect there. So yeah, there's respect. I don't think Colt is disrespecting, but I also think Colt is like, it's my time now.
Yeah. Let's stick with the Mariners for our next one. Sticking with me, this was from Baseball Tonight. Jerry DiPoto talking about what a trade deadline could look like.
I do think that this year's trade deadline is probably going to be very difficult to muddle through simply because of where we started when talking about the American League,
Right.
It's
Who's
so
selling?
hard. Yeah. That's who could, right now you wake up any given day. We're 3 games under 500. We're a game out. That's pretty unbelievable. And I know that's unusual. At some point there'll be some traction and teams will get hot, but you're going to experience a sensation where there's probably not going to be a lot of teams that are natural sellers because the league has allowed them to stay in.
All right. So if the trade deadline could be a little tougher, what's it mean? Where's your mind go? How does it make you feel?
Remember, like maybe a couple years ago where they tried to sell us with guys being healthy. That's like the move that's going to be made. We joked about
it, though, in this case.
That's probably the move. Right now, it looks like that's probably the move. Just guys getting healthy and working from within. Because we've seen
that's totally gonna be it.
This group have success, right? We've seen it. So if there's nothing out there, if he can't or doesn't feel like there's a move to be made, you have to sell that to the organization or to the fans. Fans aren't going to like it. We already know, but you can't force it. If there's nothing out there that's worth it, or there are teams that aren't willing to make deals because everyone's still in it, what are you going to do?
I will say in previous instances where that's happened, because they have had pretty active deadlines outside of that, but you're right. There have been some where we can think of, and it's like, oh, Mitch Haniger coming back healthy is actually our acquisition or whatever, it used to be. And it did make people mad. I don't think this is Jerry making excuses. I know you don't, but there might be trades out there that they may need to make. But this is kind of the flip side of the coin. If we're going to say, man, the Mariners are lucky. The AL is so muddied that they haven't sunk themselves yet. They're under 500 and 1 game out of a playoff spot. Thank goodness. The bad part of that is, well, so is everyone else.
Right.
And that means that those teams that might have, a good righty hitter that you can have against lefties or that might have an extra bullpen arm, they're looking at that playoff spot you want, saying, I'm not going to give that to you. What are you talking about? So, yeah, very interesting one. Let's see. Let's go to some positive Mariners stuff here. Again, we had Buster Olney on earlier, and he's still pretty optimistic about the Mariners.
So if you're the Mariners, with everything that's going on in the American League, man, it's just so forgiving. Now, I fully expect that at some point they're going to seize this division by the throat, because unlike, the Red Sox trying to come back in the American League East, or the Tigers trying to come back in the Central, where the Guardians might have their best offense in almost a decade, I don't think those teams will go back and contend for a division.
I thought that was a quotable moment that was sticking with me. Still fully expecting the Mariners to, quote, grab the AL West by the throat.
So what does that say? It just tells you how bad the AL West is and the potential that many people think the Mariners have. It's frustrating because I don't want to depend on anyone else, right? Because right now the Mariners are looking at the division and they're saying, well, they're garbage. They suck. We're not playing well. I don't want to have to rely on everyone else playing bad ball to still be in it.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part. That's why they're going 5-1 on this road trip.
Really? Curtis said 6-0. Are you going 6-0?
I'll go 5-1. I'll go 5-1.
Okay. I kind of see it as also, and this is going to sound really optimistic, but sorry, I still think that they're a talented team. I kind of see it like, when you see those videos of people and they have like a pet raccoon or maybe a pet tiger or something, and they're like petting it, and you're thinking, that's great for you that you're so comfortable laying next to this thing. It couldn't be me. Ultimately, that's an animal with sharp claws. Ultimately, even if it's acting like a cat right now, that thing could kill you. I kind of think that's what the Mariners have deep inside.
Okay.
Deep inside. It's right now, the Angels are my mom, and the Mariners are the raccoon she keeps feeding. And I keep trying to say, that's a wild animal that can attack you, man. Like, that can kill you. Maybe not kill you, but, like, you need to be careful. And you're just waiting for the moment when you see that. And that is the Mariners. I know deep down inside they're a very talented team that have it in them to absolutely clobber this division. They just haven't done it yet, but it's like, it's there. It's waiting.
It's waiting.
And then everyone's going to point to the Angels and point to the Astros and go, I told you guys, you're not the same this year. That's not a cat.
That's not a cat.
Mom, stop. Okay, last one here. Let's go to football for this one. Trey Wingo was a guest with us earlier talking about the difficulties of trying to get back to a Super Bowl.
The hardest thing for a Super Bowl champ is now it's different, right? And anybody will tell you this that's tried to and won a Super Bowl and then gone back the next season as a Super Bowl champ. It's different. You are everybody's Super Bowl that season. It's a different dynamic. You, instead of being one of the hunters, you are the hunted, and everybody's coming at you. And you're going to get everybody's best shot every week. So it is a different thing, and it's not something that they can prepare for in any way, shape, or form. It's just they have to understand mentally that whatever you thought last year was, this year's going to be doubly as hard because of that concept.
Why is this one sticking with you this week?
It's going to be doubly as hard, is what he says. And I think that because there's no element of surprise. Granted, in a baseball season, you don't sneak up on nobody, right? Because there's so many opportunities to assess and see what's going on. But it's doubly as hard for me just because of expectation. Mm-hmm. And this team has never had these type of expectations. So you combine that with the injuries and the struggles that this team has been having, they definitely making it doubly as hard.
Wrapping up the show with what I need to know. Get your questions in. Sports, non-sports, doesn't matter. 866-979-3776. That's next.
Big time swings.
Here's the offer to Randy. Swung on. Drill.
In big time moments.
Goodbye, Randy Arozarena. Big win yesterday.
They've kind of withstood some body blows.
Now, the Mariners hit the road for 3 in KC before a 3-game battle for first place in the West against the A's in Sacramento. Mariners, Royals this afternoon. First pitch at 4:40. Pregame at 3:30.
A happy flight to Kansas City.
Hear every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now I really love working with. Harley Exteriors. You can expect a no-pressure consultation. They're great people to work with, and their windows are beautiful. I recently met with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with. And now, Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. Right now, get $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio or entry door, 12-month or 18-month no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. If that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
The NFL schedule dropped, and it's time to settle up. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, scores to settle. All the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you could win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the whole season. Visit paypal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase necessary. See website for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead, explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Mariners and Royals today in KC. First pitch 4:40, 3:40 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PASS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for what I need to know. Anything top of mind for you. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. How long do you think Cade Anderson is going to have to wait in the minors? I'll flip it to, do you think we see Cade this year?
Yes.
Relatively soon?
Yes. Actually, I'm texting him right now. And he told me that he feels like he's ready to go, and he's just waiting for a shot.
Bump's kidding.
I'm joking.
He's joking. Yeah, but I don't know about soon. I mean, I think people thought that this would be maybe a solution to the Castillo thing, and then Miller came back and looked amazing. So I don't know. I mean, Curtis, where would you slot Cade right now? I know that you have questions about Logan, but you're not taking Logan out.
No.
I think he would be probably like long relief right now, or a lefty arm out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in the rotation next year in 2027, but for right now, there's just so much. And like, the whole thing is that Emerson Hancock has complicated everything. Like, if he was just his regular self prior to this season, that would be the easiest decision. But the fact that he has been one of your best starting pitchers all season long, I mean, you can't take out the hot hand.
What I need to know, are corn dogs cool?
Sure.
Like,
it's hard to look cool while eating it.
That's what I was saying. Think of the most intimidating, coolest person you know. Imagine Aaron Donald standing in front of you. You're feeling a little nervous, and then put a corn dog in his hand. Is he a scary now? No. Corn dogs they're not cool. They're objectively uncool.
But they're good.
We used to go to this spot growing up. Hot dog on a stick. Pretty much corn dogs. And
the hand-dipped ones? Oh, they're so good.
It was like we went to the mall. We had to go get one.
I think that it's fine. It's just, I'd be fine with just the breading.
Then just get cornbread.
I love cornbread. On a stick. Cornbread on a stick they need to make for people.
Cornbread on a stick.
It would just fall apart on a stick.
866-979-3776. Can Bump break 75 from the Blues?
All I do is play from the Blues, homie. What you talking about? Yeah, I can. It's my mission this summer. It's going down. I'll let you guys know right now I'm taking a lot of time off in June. And I will be going to every tournament I've been invited to, and it's going to go down.
Okay. Bump's not even using like, oh, I'm sick. He's just, I'm golfing. It's Curtis and Stacy today.
See ya.
What I need to know, is it worse to have a monkey on your shoulder or a koala on your back?
Oh.
Monkey on your shoulder. Monkeys they're not.
Yeah.
They're those guys. They mess with you.
Yeah, I think a monkey on your shoulder.
They're violent. They could like rip your ear off too. Man.
I don't think the koala's going to move around a ton.
Nah, koala's chilling.
Yeah. What I need to know. Bump, have you ever played anywhere that was too loud to hear the snap or even the play call, and what's it like?
Yes, Wisconsin. Especially when they play jump around. It was like 100,000 there. Couldn't hear anything. And when you play NCAA football and the screen starts shaking, it's really like that. They start shaking there. You can feel the ground move. It was crazy. Wisconsin, Auburn. Yeah, that's probably it. And Oregon, Autzen Stadium.
How much harder are silent counts and stuff? Like when you're trying to adjust to that, is it way harder, or like what becomes more difficult?
Here's the thing. Receivers should never jump off sides. Okay. Even if you don't know the count. Look at the ball. That's what I tell my guys. If you jump off sides, I'm going to lose my you-know-what.
Yeah. What I need to know, what's the best movie snack that is not popcorn?
Nachos.
That's messy. In the dark?
It's not messy. You eat like a child?
No, just nachos. I don't know. It's just... I also...
Stacy just walks out with cheese all on her sweater. What are you doing?
I just think they can be messy. You're ultimately working with liquid cheese, which can fall off of a chip.
I mean, box of candy is always great. Like,
yeah, Junior Mints.
Can't go wrong with that. I go Reese's Pieces.
Oh, yeah, that's great, too. What I need to know, the one video game to play for the rest of your life.
Ooh.
I'd say, like, probably NCAA college football.
I'd say Call of Duty because you can play with random people. I guess you can in NCAA football,
so you can make friends.
When you're an only child.
It always comes back to bumping an only child, I swear.
Hey, guys, you want to hang out?
Hey, you want to hop on?
866-979-3776. Do you have strong thoughts on NHL playoffs right now? Your favorites to take it all. We've been talking a lot about
Canadians.
the NBA playoffs.
You see that game yesterday?
No, I've been watching a lot.
Blew out Carolina, yeah.
Man, Carolina scored like the first 30 seconds, and then the Canadians scored like a minute later, end up blowing them out 6-2.
Yeah, of the 4 teams left, I would say the Canadians are the most ethical because the Hurricanes are owned by Tom Dundon, who's a terrible owner for the Blazers. And then in the Western Conference, it's Vegas and Colorado. I still hate the Avalanche from that series they played against the Kraken a couple of years ago.
You're holding on to that.
And Vegas, I mean, God, they're so hateable in the NHL.
What's your most hated team? Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. A team where you're like, I don't know that a single person could convince me to like them. There maybe not a single player that could play for them.
Celtics all day.
Not a single player.
Not a single player. Like, I mean, I respect their game.
Yeah. But you like legitimately, you're like, I hate this team.
I hate the Celtics.
It makes my blood boil.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA basketball makes my blood boil. Yeah. That's Arizona and UCLA rivalry.
49ers.
Yeah.
Always. Or the Vikings, Western Washington Vikings.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Dang.
Western Washington.
That's real.
Studious up there.
Yeah. No, I can't stand it.
Western Washington Vikings.
He said their communications department is this.
It's a joke.
I hate it.
866-979-3776. What I need to know. Why did I already read this one? Why does Bump hate fullbacks? Is it because they're closer to the ball?
I love fullbacks.
You've been accused of hating fullbacks.
Why?
I don't know.
I love fullbacks.
This is a real question you got.
Oots. Let's go, Oots.
That was just one of them. You three are going to cruise Alki in a drop top tonight. Who's driving? Who's controlling the radio? And who's sitting on top of the bench in the back? I'm obviously driving.
You are not driving.
Why aren't I driving?
Actually, yeah, you're not driving.
I passed my drive test with a 98 out of 100.
I drive by you every day.
Not the written one, though. I failed that one a couple times.
I drive by you.
What's wrong with how I'm driving? Every day you drive by me because you're speeding like a speed demon.
Like you're 75 years old.
Well, you know, God willing, I will be one day.
I don't know. I'd say.
Well, why do we want to speed in the drop top?
Well, you
We're
know
enjoying
what?
Alki.
You know what?
You
You're
get the
right.
wind in your hair.
Okay, then who's driving?
All right, you can drive. You can drive.
Well, I don't want to drive now.
All right. Well.
I want to control the radio.
All right, Curtis can drive.
I was listening to podcasts.
You have a dang road trip.
All right, guys, this is the next episode of Crime Junkie. Fine, you guys, I'll just sit.
No, you drive. You got it.
Okay.
I'll be the one on the bench with my hair in the wind.
And Bump will be controlling the radio.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We figured it out. That's not how we're going to be getting home.
She'll be in the slow lane.
I'll not going to be
on
in
the left
slow.
side.
Oh, my God. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
To see Colt Emerson in 2 games, he's looked awesome.
In that moment, it's like we saw what Colt Emerson can be. You're talking about a franchise-type player there. Yeah. When you have one already in center field and when you have one already behind the plate, that's when great teams are built.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Coming to Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, June 18th, it's Jim Jeffries.
If you see like an old couple and you go, how long have you two been married for? And they go, 45 years. And then I always ask, what's your secret? The man goes like this, she's always right. And then you see him go dead behind the eyes.
Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Global comedy heavyweight, Jim Jeffries, June 18th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help, call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We know this, Shannon. When the weather warms, our baseball team's bats usually get a little hotter. We also know that maybe we've been sitting around and we try to crank things to 100 and our bodies don't quite react. As the weather gets warmer, do you see more folks at IRG?
Absolutely, Brock. You know, you just mentioned it. As the weather warms up, people think they need to get outside, which is great. But sometimes they get outside, they start too fast, too quick, and they don't warm up. They don't stretch. They don't do preparation. If you find yourself in that situation where maybe you overdid it, you're hurt, you got a bruise, a bump, an ache, get a hold of us at IRG PT. We'll do a free injury screening, and we'll give you some guidance, some recommendations to keep you on your path of healthy function pain-free activity.
How cool is that? A free screening for you and no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit irgpt.com and schedule your appointment today. Over 40 convenient locations. IRG's in your neighborhood. irgpt.com.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Calling all car enthusiasts. Fuel your weekend at Tacoma Cars and Coffee, hosted at LeMay. America's Car Museum. Cars, community, and fresh coffee for all makes and models. This event is completely free to attend. No RSVP required. Bring your family, bring your friends, and show off your favorite ride. For dates, times, and more, visit americascarmuseum.org. That's americascarmuseum.org.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car today.
I really want to have the most amazing customer experience. I want people to be excited.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to